Magana for nyina akwaba ediba MST. So braso sign up for so Monday special one. It me at the sports beat it me at the bro biara wo. Na ubepie mu ha de na se bibia anya asi ade awie. It na se metoto ne ba komenu ensa ya ka ade abom de ama. Na fe nso ahu de ekọ. Sisi ane de oda na asori ana de mpabo na yeye na ase ama Nyankopɔn fi se wono ni obi a wabɔ ho ban oyi afi owom ene amane ene kodan dem it eya na enye bete sa ena ensem tie yebawura mu e won nsem ni mu amre ekɔ tie dikan ahyase de afiri eye edin haza ene odi atudwa abra no a omodo mu match kese ne etimi tudwa mu last match a na se trophy kwa no ma je awie mu ne ganes edi ebo ani na ombo match ni wie na 2-2 ena goal no etimi koye 2-2 na goal score no enso etimi koye na no ena owie apa na kasa no de tudwa se uhwem de na sisi wie no ankoye amfa ma no kra o sisi wie no de enema abo atia ne pa se ohwemu a na opura no akwaba no opura no akwaba sa ena eba se bia Spain ho a yetwitwa ne kra se England those days not here so Spain dey jam ball no ubetimi aflex zone but so okoye entwa pa yetwa ne sa na se Eden Hazard ena de ensam etuda yesu bi ehu de ama ewo MHTV so yekopia mu de na se nei ye ne bopu ye bisa Eden na nti se unya Chelsea abesa akosi na se uhwe players bi ti se Timo Werner mo enu mo ne Hakim Ziyech mo eba na eche se players bi a mo kaka ka eso meka team ne ho dia na se nei so unya kwanya na osan gbawure mu Stamford Bridge dia na se kwa bia so no anigye ni bibia be koyie e de ama ono Eden Hazard eti wo wie na so ye dey opiepie mu se mi ko ka eye players we mu a Chelsea be ye de Chelsea be ye de enya sem ketwa sa na ensem no etie kopie mu dia ene de Barcelona oni Arsenal eno mbusu a omo ye negotiation say de be ya players bi ensu betimi aye stretch abedi wo mo na minim die enti Barcelona see the match as here with a player switching, you know. Let's say Nyanse Kitu and one the Filippo Coutinho and the air normal. So make me 2 players be and 1 player be cry on no submit me abe replace a yet a blantia. Let's say Kanyama and so at me Akoso at their mom. It is here Filippo Coutinho and then they won't be a walker. Which is the Biamican. So player on one. How can that ginger or that on that? What to say? Australia, they be our dream. Say, if I'm a mekwa, say no and some and now I know pay me be home and so at me at Amo, a copy of the other Ayatima, the city, Manchester City, and the one you have bread and say Letona Martinez, no woman son Subetinia can on so sign it at the amount. No one say, play on the doom, you know, and so on the line of mercy, the desire of Subetini Asia. Now fake match no and I say by matches no ono so atimi apare with Messi na ne manyina akoso ediama no na say no ho ensam ne kopiemu e wo Zidane dia Kate Zidane dia Zuzu no ene waje trophy na waje trophy ni wi no na fe otimi se na ni agifi na no eno mbisa na o say abrantie ne dindi Lucas Jovic e de Napoli e ho an beko Napoli ho a eno beko Napoli for enhwe anim a so betimi di offer bi abadia ene wo mo de ba na abrantie Lucas Jovic enso bitimi abepie mu e wo Napoli na fe die enema nyina aye kama wo hwe mo na se life no Oba Madrid no wa flop kura ankoyie amfa ma no enema ankoyie amfa ma na se no ho ensem and AC Milan coach and din onso the air pillows o say wo be hweti ni pa AC Milan ayeyi o say AC Milan ayeyi AC Milan siye etina se nei se wo be join ni AC Milan pa dia ene intentem ma honye ha na fe onso fa wo nkugu nkaka ne be pie mu AC Milan na enyema nyina enkoyie emfama na se coach no o say nyema ekoyie hwe obi ti se Zlatan mo na o be ka team ne ho na team ne koso ti hwa nanua wo mu chi Bologna na ne o mu show mo ka ba ku mienu miensa ensia enum o mu twa mo enum chese utim se AC Milan emu ayede papa o mu hwa anim se o mu switch akobo Europa League na sa na nsam no tie enai Ateta e de to dwa se o hwemu a na sa brantie Pre Aubameyang abrantie betimi atena ama Arsenal enima nyina akoso e dia mom etina season no wo se abrantie etena e wo Arsenal dia ma ne nya onwanwa se abrantie de se waji atum se ne okosi akan ana so besi aka beto so esi akan e dia ma Arsenal ye kopie mo na se ne Pep Guardiola na ebra na Arsenal Saturday na Arsenal fochi wom etwa mo aka mienu abra na United supporters bia omo so eba mi show su kikan na Arsenal kra nkoyie enti City be shom enti ade ne ba be ye Manchester derby Manchester derby o en no bia hwa nim se be ye se be ye na Pep Guardiola ti as stands nim na kasakasa abra Arsenal Aubameyang actually 2 goals at the man Arsenal man almost with me Manchester City free mo no be any so nyame adoma Sunday there ya be fine now so the Pep Guardiola ankoyi amfama no abra ni team no egu ni ho ani ma poto e ma Arsenal team yire ni ho social mtina say eno ensem ekopiem dia nei United any abresa abranche ndini sanchu omo nsa betimi aka no na no na Borussia Dortmund any abre de end some replacement e dey ama abranche na so mo hwe ni mu say United so betimi diska off papa betimi aba sisi a de sika na da na so 120 euro na mo hwe ni mu ansa omo nsa beka e dey afra abranche no e transfer deal ni na finally mu nyina enso etimi akoso kama etimi e dey ma yakopie mu Jose Mourinho dia was hey Papa Jose nyuma e koso yesi a supporters want to team ni nyina ni age o say Jose Mourinho away different o ma to team na different cra etina na se na die o mo hwe mu a enkofo hu onu Jose Mourinho different say man de o ye o Tottenham no one hwe the next 2 years no say ja team ni di mana enyema oba ye o Tottenham team ni mu no ene be the Tottenham be duru no ebe enkofo nwanwa etu supporters na ene mo twa mo ho ye sensembo ene ye ene mo di ma branch na say Barcelona mo former player Idi Ricardo enso dia tu da say won be hwem na hwem so man pamo abrante e mu coach ni dia ene gige satin dia ni ne yan hwe ya team no e be kwa mani mu pa was so hwe say the basketball ball na hwe those days pa Pep Guardiola time pa dia ene coach wa bon was wa bon ankasa na say no ensem ne Ricardo say gige satin abon pa wa bon ama bibia so ye bibia kram ensada enye Berbatov e dia to their former Manchester United no sina kan so Edmund Tottenham was say hey Hurricane but woni na ho e papa United bi bo na papa so ogi bi dia o be so ogi bi pa dia go ke no be so ogi anytime dia and Manchester United no and be bo to the warning kesi e pa koma branch say hwe me life na sua na afa won so kosi akan edema Manchester United ye ka Manchester United no Sunday and na kesi o munyim say womu ebe Chelsea 4th time na se na keba eka no na okaso masa mu fama sam kranto nche na yebegum animu ase na ankoba sa abra Chelsea echi Manchester United ewo kese Wembley na da bia record da bia meka se eba Wembley pa dia record na Chelsea kuta no obi ani bi womu chi United eka baaku mienu miensa na odoi ebetwa abrante masha ema Bruno Fernandes enso di penalty kin eteka ba ko a se no no mani magu as na hwe goals na eto odwa pa dia na ya awe hosem se didi apa udapo mu na afi Maguire eku ono anga ni player belly netiko heading ema akwe nani subiri na boy wenje mo se no me se no na coincidence mo se United supporters ni nyina ofre we a osimemfa obu obekọ United osimo bia mfre me United fans zo home suban esa na ensem no so etinyame adoma nwure ma stories bi about those enu no Manchester United for na are ho na to supporters no so enu ba akukura do dwane fifie anajo be se 1 na obedai na se ensem no na wanu nsem ni nyina de asi ha se de ama ye gbawura mu ofie de house of folk omo pani pa ayetogbe afede the Royal Majesty togbe afede the third na dey say uhwemu a ene abasobode pa anya de man say say the adwuma pa wo ye de ma has na adwuma pa wo ye Ghana ha no sisi ade eba say be a business any say the oma business Akosomo pa for the decade dia ene be pay upon homodin eti business e wo Ghana ha nyina no ye hwemu ono ene obi a upon homodin e wo adwuma kuom a ono so watete no tira say nura de papa ye boy na baso a house of folk supporters wo mani agi pa say ni papa yi ni din Akosoro na enyema ekoyie ede ema no ukopiem dia Patrick Akoto ono so si na kan ana so ye coach oye penin edima mechemu a na say ne wo da to dwa say na go for dwene say yi wo say hwe uhwe Ghana ha pa dia enkofo bi nema enso ani enu ntina ma nei enkofo bi wo efen say Palmer say onye no onkoji case no onfa case no ko cast na fe cast really ni en to ba for say ye to ba de na ba wo say de adwuma akati die pa na de baba ada man say be to ba foforo masa mo fam nsam enso entu ba bi na sa na ensem no etie abrantie ka ba ko na osina kan edema list Tony Yeboah na de to just ne de ni age ediama list for so motimi for the past 28 years or 48 years amatimi aba enkom nei 16 good years omo timi atutu niema nyina ama sisi ade omo so timi aba premiership mu foforo na say eno ho ensem eno no ye pie mu de ne supporters bi omo so koka ewo eye Ethiopia ne ade na ne nyame adom Agyeiwaa na akyere ama ya tell say players nyina bedru Ghana na nso ne akwarantan om e de wakogu ba bi a ye hwe say kosi say 14 days beso no yetimi nya momu mpie nkwana nanam na awia COVID-19 achi obi a na no so de ha kwasane yanka say case ko ye hu anu ate ase ekisi an ya quarantine wom de wagu ba bi ye try 14 days say the man panin so ya quarantine no nei om so ya quarantine sa na ensem no enso etie house of folk na na die ye say project no wom gusu omoye no gusu omoye no na opariado a ye communicator Edema house of folk no or to just say other so here say na house project no ye be jade ato na nsu to na de be osinye no kre osinye no kro mo bi amfa che na adwum say na ye be to house of folk man na de house project no Akoso the next 3 months na house of folk be the project no na afi wo mo so e de nema gufo mo say here enche kra house of folk project be wie but na omuwie ya na take for bagia aboso efe mu so ma wie ma dwuma kra na bibia nso aye kama nti supporters amusu na mbetum no bia mfa nto nche hwie si emfa ma house folk sa na ensem tie Eribe Queen o si defender pa no ha no o si defender pa no ha ne pa no enkofo dwin se eye Dan Queen o si na onu de se wanya mihwi o onu won timi kra attack na me se house da o si Jonathan Mensah enne tete ne pa o si eba defender no mafia na Jonathan Mensah na sa na nsem etie engineer say osole na adaju ne say bia Dan Queen ana Dan Coman mo enema Dan Coman mo enema ono obre pa dia sinye no kreda Dari Coman Kofi Dari Coman enyo mo na so say player Didi Jonathan Mensah na say no ho ensem eno ogopie mu ewo ga kade a na say nei ga for the tudwa say Agyeiwaa ebe bibia ama football na bankwam na say kudofia no ano ya chairman no ono dia tudwa say kwa bia so no Agyeiwaa be ye bibia say ket na di straight die omo adwuma omo ye no exceptional enti omo ye bibia ama Agyeiwaa ana say Ghana Premier League no eso atinya bankwam animanim ya enti na sa na nsem tie kopie mu ema football dia ne abayiwa ne modimbo enso ekọ anim pa under 17 ema under 17 na esabawe obonu moden edin ede mukala Muhammad enenei ode atudwa se chese wohwem pa dia na ni GSM de man se obobo Black Queens o se Black Queens na obobo no obeso de Black Queens eje World Cup wa humwa hwemu hu se Black Queens ye World Cup da under 17 ya de sa na kwakọ national team no engineers ono de atudwa se ekwan bias no obeboa ama team and di the Black Queens and so etimi age World Cup na abawe ni modern bono eso anipa under 20 under 17 bia na ya captain at the moment ye hwe anim so no betu be kokko pie mu ewo Black Queens na anim nyina and so Akoso ediama no no be pie mu dia na nei alaji Yakubu Moro de atudwa say say ye to aba no foforo pa Agyeiwaa aba no foforo a o say ye to no foforo a o say ketokre ko enya ba kokora ese na nimbe asewo edino tene Ghana ha de say ensem na ye ka no ete bia na menti ase na ese we ensem a ono so ja tudwa no o say ye to aba Ghana ha papa ma unique case no na ye san to aba de a ene ket onye ba kokora minim na ensem na bi odi free ba na minim sa de tie na so papa yi akasa de agu o e de ma Ghana fo nyina say ono de sa na hu ade no na minim ede ye for last story enfamra na fe yenya mu na ye fama news super review ne dia na ze nei ube pie mu dia na se bechem United o musiwo e de atudwa se kwan bia so no eje o say fair e de ma class no so manye ska o say we ni ma Ghana fo nyina nte say we enye special package emfa ma e fe say Ghana League no FIFA ene CAF ena de abasi ye nchechema class ni nyina eti ye ni team say kotokone so has ne so ntie mo muska kese da bi o say we nye sponsorship deal what I say we nye sponsorship eno be ka say ena ye ma has ne kotoko kese ni da bla o say nya ne sa we COVID-19 say COVID-19 ama ka say ska we nganya de ba eti we COVID-19 na aba ena ska we aba na ska nkra meduru ye na ye ko ho ntoko ye intropeni ne say ye nya abotre na afi ye ncheche ska ne kakra ska nya beduru a ye mfo bia de pepepe ma no na so fair so the first premiership for ska mo nya na no ano no mo mo nko su se na na house ne kotoko ye ne yeso ene ade enya saa na asem tie enti na saa na nsem no enyina etie ha ene ade nsem no nyina ade besi ama de gudu nsem no enso esi ene manda no pa ade amma medi still Charles na tubi timbi e wa kire oboa adwuma no amadwuma no ekoso saa so na father Dicty Junior enso ma adwuma no ekoyie pa de mu odene Agyeiwaa akode pa bi Akosomo mo maka nyina eka ho mo makiri dom amede ensem nyina atimi ade abem anopei entia ne kese pa kukudam no a efiri mi kotodwemu eba no enkomo Manchester United supporters nyina anopei makram mo na yi
me gain di Kofi Akpalo me na me leader LPG be bia me TV to and one name MHTV na me share sports beat me sisa program na that's the be me that's the be me share sports beat.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence. Global Sky Limited is making it possible for all to feel safe and secured. Security should never be for the rich alone. Global Sky has over 300 products ranging from CCTV cameras, access control, fire alarm systems, security lighting systems, intercom systems that ensure utmost security for you and your loved ones. For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.
Mema wakwaba edeba Ghana is watching Jumedie so. Ghana is watching Jumedie shronkokra Marvelin House yahye ne edeba be somo asomo sompa. Ewo Jumedie so yehwe nia ekoyie ene nia enkoyie ewo oman yimu ne yabobo ni nyina no ape ano pomesibre. Wo Jumedie so yebehwe ye kwanso ensem aso wo kwanso nsamumpo etisen senia ehyenkafo etwi wana hyem basabasa ewo oman yimu yebesanso ahwe senia yen ahonidie ensem tie ewo wompotem ho sena ahonidie ensem etie ewo ho unim se enkese de biarada yen ahonidie eda nanso sen ena etie ewo oman yimu wompotem ho no no ahonidie ho nsem no aso eye hwan asede se obehwe amana akoyie yebesanso ahwe yen bambo ensem sena ye bambo nsem etie ewo oman yimu nipa bonfo adọọso ama krono ama ne homne so ewo oman yimu aso ekwan ben so na yefa esi ano kwan yenam abefo kwan so anase yenam kane kwan so na yede ba besi ano kwan meto me safre wona wonim de efa ne amakeka nyina ho ne yatena se apensen insemu ape ano pomasibre. Ghana is watching. Ghana ehwe.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence. Global Sky Limited is making it possible for all to feel safe and secured. Security should never be for the rich alone. Global Sky has over 300 products ranging from CCTV cameras, access control, fire alarm systems, security lighting systems, intercom systems that ensure utmost security for you and your loved ones. For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.
Yama wakwa baba ene July bosomo ne da to so aduonu e wo 2020 no edi ameje so ane ama Akosomo na ene me ni nuaba aba Agyeiwaa akode ene edi newspaper review segment e wo morning break jumedi so ebro aba akwa baba
Videos.
se na ho aye fede na watwi de me hu ni se wudi nie pa
Eja, nyame hwɛ yɛ so na sa de pe bi chi yɛ dia. Na yusi bɔ nko a.
se na watwi na koyi ama ye nuane nyina na ade tche so ayi hu ni se ochina Tuesday eya yewra Father Dixon Junior so na woda no ye wishing happy birthday in advance. I said in some ne kono ye hu na bibia news mu ye hu bibia se enne 20th and I am man ye nuanom nketewa so mo SS no omo tro omo wasin so hwene nti emo mu nyina good luck ewa omo so hwene ye sha se de aba se ne da ye no no and hot news platforms and seminar ebeba yeah is mindset of the wise in conscious sama ye ka de man kokon so eno so beba na answer na beba na ye be hwe nsem bi a edi ehim e wo yenda ebo character ni nyinam ye hwe daily graphic I find the front page of the daily graphic ye hu wasi begins today eno no e wo front page ekwako pm page 3 COVID-19 testing enhanced logistics procured upon chroma page 16 PPE elects PPP elects national executives. President resumes work today. Electoral Commission 2020 voter registration exercise movement plan phase 4. Local government ministry. Zoom Lion disinfects 1,000 markets nationwide. You find the Ghanaian Times, so I heard the front page of the Ghanaian Times. Wasi begins today. 313,837 students write final exams. Second phase nationwide disinfection fumigation exercise begins. President resumes work at Jubilee House today after 2 weeks of self-isolation. 90 former workers drag Coca-Cola to Labour Commission. And in that I say Ghanaian Times, you see the the do's and don'ts of wearing the mask, but the don'ts of wearing the mask in don't reach under the mask or social mask and for some fast now the people will name no one. Don't touch front of mask. Social mask time be so enim no. Upese oyi cry you fit enchain no and as na chi no. Na ho na obeye fi. Don't remove mask to cough, sneeze or talk. Oh, but wa bogu mask ni. Oh, upese o wensin so aye ni na agum. Enyi se upese okasa we. Na ode ahye enye se kasa nti na wuyi. Ewie so ani afa the Daily Guide newspaper. And front page of the Daily Guide or NDC Days rejects Interpol red alert on fugitive Adam Mahama. Phase 2 nationwide disinfection underway. Lotto fraudsters on rampage. Here is a 48 pages EC registration plan. Phase 4 pull out. Nana resumes work today after quarantine. Near who they all front pages ni na ni ebesha ase efi the Daily Graphic newspaper. Aba.
Nesenia the hot news no yemfa mamon yede nsem bia enanope yakase news headlines eba ni news a nsem a edi ehim pa enedede eba nse general news Rollins heads back at Kwesiedu challenges him to open his mind and eyes. Samson had 3 more deaths as 607 new coronavirus cases take Ghana's case count to 27,667. Afe DOVVSU cannot be trusted. Mother who was beaten by husband laments. Coronavirus, our only problem is the active cases. Let's focus on them. Dr. Patrick Kuma Apwache. Pastors have become dumb dogs. Bishop Agyeiwaa fires. Couldn't Dufour Indum and Moaben's banks have been saved? Agyeiwaa asked. Dufour Indum Amoabin being destroyed out of envy, Agyeiwaa Nana Elsa Kasa in Semi. The fight over Kwame Nkrumah's dead body. What you need to know about the Frafra people of Ghana, West Africa. Mahama is wicked, Ekweadonko. Arrest and prosecute the perpetrators for once, Kweku Baako reacts to Banda killing. I was born out of rape. My mother never liked me. Girl laments. Mamprisi people, Ghana's ancient people in the north. Yes, we can. Mahama's Rani needs peace. I've survived. Ekufuado staffer recovers from coronavirus. Gabi mocks Bernard Mona for registering. Mahama, NDC should rather push for thorough probe into Airbus scandal. Nana Akomia. NHIA probes manager who fingered nurse in Saula. GES confirms death of another final year SHS student. Professor Jampo responds to PPP presidential candidate rumors. US CDC adopts coronavirus discharge guidelines Ghana has been implementing. Discharge your duties or we vote you out, Agyeiwaa to politicians. I will not wish coronavirus experience on anyone, voter minister. Phase 4 of voter registration starts in Adakru district. Ekufuado resumes work today, being Monday. FDA has not changed the guideline on antibody testing, Professor Ampofu. 2 robbers get 46 years jail term. Take personal interest in markets, lorry price disinfection exercise, MMDC is taxed. GMA trains staff on proper observance of COVID-19 safety protocols. UHAS practice competitive appointment system, council. Deputy Education Minister supports constituents. Household registry to collect data on vulnerable in Northeast region. NGO presents smartphones to fishermen to monitor illegal fishing activities. 2 Nigerians granted bail for kidnapping 39 others. Ekufuado sends best wishes to SHS students writing WASI. Ghana's active coronavirus cases dropping Adhere to safety protocols. Dr. Da Costa. NPP primary candidates residential status and eligibility approved. You will always remain that rod of peace. Rawlings eulogizes U.S. civil rights icon John Lewis. Obuasi West MP cancelled for road project in Obuasi. UCC cancels Atamis Memorial Lecture over coronavirus. Ama.
No, senior Abba Eddie headlines for today. Ama ye shasi if the Daily Graphic newspaper. Na front page of the Daily Graphic ohona almost starting with stories ni nafi. Wasi begins today. After months of uncertainty and apprehension arising from the COVID-19 pandemic, the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination kicks off for Ghanaian candidates today. In all, 313,837 candidates from 976 schools will be writing the examination at 796 centers throughout the country. Out of the figure, about 188,263 are females, while the remaining 187,573 are males. The Ashanti and Eastern regions top with 87,295 and 56,467 candidates respectively, while the Bunu East and Ahaf regions combined follow with 45,295 candidates, with the Central and the Greater Accra regions representing 42,956 and 37,974 candidates respectively. The OT and Volta regions together are representing 34,466 candidates, with the Northern, Savannah and Northeast also representing 248,330, while the Western and Western North regions presents 24,332 candidates. The Upper East and Upper West regions follow with 13,334 and 8,798 respectively.
Daily Graphic wakata no na no pe yede ehya ase ma mu wasin sohwe no enne na kyerese bibi ehya ase gidi esuafo ni nyina wo monyirom ho wo mo modern paye mo nyina good luck sohwe ne de de aye de wo ye de kora o kotro ni nyina ya adesua ene empaibo nyame ado obeye inkuninde ni na karte wo head the front page of Daily Graphic na kyerese COVID-19 hihye ni nyina edi egu akwema mesuafo na wasin sohwe no wo mo ehya ase na wo makwakwotro no enede na wona wo kwakwotro sohwe njese 313,837 na wo kwakwotro na sanchese sohwe wo mo edi ahya ase gidigidi ne yehwe centers ne dia 796 na kyerese ahasono ene eduokunu insia afensu mantema huro na abibrina na wo mo churchon sohwe na no so ho breakdown nyina ewo kratem na ema wo mo kwa akwotro no 188,163 afei ba ne se mema na wo maka na mema 187,573 ena wo mo kwa akwotena atro insohwe na asante mantem ene epuei mantem chesa asante ma omuna asante mantem na epuei mantem ho na esuafo na wo kwa akwotro wasin sohwe no wo mo do so pam ansa na mantem ahuro edidi so eno no bunu east ahafo mantem womonso asuafo ekwakwotro mfimfiri mantem Volta mantem Savannah Northeast mantem awuro nyina oti wo mu nyina ene wana wo wasin so hene chiro no wo mo sha ase gidigidi.
Yet waswani eko page 5 inside Africa. Zimbabwe arrests 100,000 for violation of COVID-19 measures. More than 105,000 people have been arrested in Zimbabwe since March for violating regulations aimed at curbing the spread of coronavirus, police say. Around 1,000 were arrested in the last 2 days for unnecessary movement or for not wearing nose masks. Restrictions have been eased slightly in the country, where more than 1,500 infections have been confirmed. Critics accuse the government of using the measures to target the opposition and arrest activists, which it denies. Opposition and civil society groups are mobilizing for nationwide protests on July 31 to demand that President Emerson Mnangagwa steps down. Meanwhile, in neighboring South Africa, police have opened cases against more than 230,000 people who were accused of defying lockdown regulations, official statistics released in May. South Africa has so far recorded more than 320,000 cases and 4,600 deaths since March, the highest in Africa. Last week, President Cyril Ramaphosa warned that the storm is upon us.
Yentase de krata eni fa etosu enum na etwa so kopiem e Zimbabwe nchese we inside Africa ha ya ho nsem na ye ka COVID-19 ya ren man humres o na hihye bebre na wo mu edigu akwam na so kamia ise bebre na endi nhihye ne sinisentin de police force wo mu bo adwuma pa se koba ne se wo nhya na wo matro ne sentin 105,000 na a police for na say wo ma kire wo we say COVID-19 nhihye na wo mode egu akwam omu nni so efi March busun mi ma kire say Zimbabwe man na omde nhihye ni gu se ne beye na obeku atia COVID-19 yaren busun mienu ntempe na kire say wo ma kire ni papem 1,000 cent no na man ni ayenya ho na omu kire mu a yare na bibia pema na epem ko neni na so sa amanfo ebedi nhihye ni so na ya na akwakoyi bibia ho ne cent no ye kire se wunni hihye nso dia na kira na sese ye kire nanumu na president edemom Ramaphosa Cyril Ramaphosa ede nsem tudwa ode kokobo pa eko ede ama wom se COVID-19 yare no se ne ye no bia enye ahweyi papa na kopiem e South Africa dia coronavirus cases no wo monya bro 320,000 sanso na omato na nanum wonse no eye 4,600.
Yes, also our page 7, the editorial. We wish WASI candidates success. Today, 65,380 candidates out of the 313,837 set to write this year's West African Certificate Examination, will begin the examination with their practical work. At long last, this day has come after months of uncertainty because of the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, which resulted in the shutdown of schools and students sent home. Even when President Akufo-Addo announced the guidelines to ease the lockdown of the gradual reopening of schools, there was resistance from some civil society organizations and even some stakeholders who cited the increase in the number of infections in the country. Rightly so, but definitely, the president had very good intentions for taking such a bold step on the advice of its technical advisors, because COVID-19 is here with us and education cannot come to a standstill because of it. The government, prior to the reopening of schools, distributed personal protective equipment to all schools and appealed to identifiable bodies to support in that direction. Additionally, the government caused all schools to be disinfected and fumigated before the schools opened their gates to welcome students. Let us all work together to expose these fraudsters and criminals who parade the corridors of schools to deceive candidates and end up destroying the academic future of our potential leaders by also compromising with their moral values. The Daily Guide is appealing to all examination personnel, officials of WAEC, and the entire society to help guide and protect the integrity of the WASI. We wish the candidates success.
Daily graphic wakata ne fa etoso enso no semufo no na adwenkyere anase na adwenpo a eba ebipie nkratem de mchese wasi insohwen abomukọ akwakotre na yesuafo no ahan no ho nsem na chese kratai edba yo semufo na ekire se obia enkono nkotro insohwen no asundwem omoma obia success on wish obia success an kunindie enko enfama omnom chemse Ghana mampani na nadodanko Akufo-Addo edin mpanimfo ahye hade suansem so ne ahye na pomuden nsem so edin hihye bibre edegu akwam achese achetrefo ne head teachers ni na wo maboa pa se ne ebe na bibia ebekoso tote ne na ochirem se hihye nde wom de egu akwam impo eba ne se nra ede be petepete fo nyina wom de bi edem epetepete o se ne beye na yebetimi akwatia COVID-19 yare no ne yemre aso se wom kọ ekotro mo wasin so heli sentin mpanimfo a wɔn di mu kan na so wɔn di mu akɔtene no ɛbɔ mmɔden hwɛ sɛ bibia ɛbɛkɔ so tɔɔte wɔ hɔ na esuafoɔ no nso ɛde nhyehyɛe bi ɛsɛ sɛ wɔn di so no ɛso sɛ nea ɛbɛyɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛtumi akɔ atia yare nanso no ɛwɔ mo ma candidates ne nyinaa good luck and success.
Yet also our page 13 supporting community in COVID-19 time. Kofi Mensah shows way. It is no gainsaying the fact that the universal pandemic COVID-19 has wreaked havoc in all aspects of the economy, with industries bearing the brunt of its devastation. Many industry players have adopted measures that would deliver them from their scourge and ensure that they remain afloat to these turbulent times. One player who is braving the storm to keep his head up in this troubling situation, while supporting and maintaining hundreds of unemployed youths who would have been laid off consequently, is Mr. Charles Kofi Mensah of Kofi Enterprise in Cape Coast. Before the arrival of the virus and subsequent partial lockdown of parts of the country, Kofi Mensah, as the company became known, was into the training of the youth, mostly students in business. He also offered scholarship to a considerable number of them to pursue their education. The motivation of the 58-year-old industrialist to engage in this enterprise of supporting his community, an area considered poverty endemic, was to contribute his quota to the eradication of a squalor that the area is known for. But even as COVID-19 hits hard and sends most businesses reeling, Mr. Mensah's company still stays afloat and contributes to the development of the region and the country. Mr. Kofi Mensah believes that whatever he has achieved was not only by dint of hard work and support of his family, but also through the mercies of God, hence his strong bond with God. He has been with the Lord Dan Fellowship and the Rich Church in Cape Coast for more than 2 decades and trained people, mostly the youth, in spirituality and the need to devote time to God in their lives. He was also the founder and leader of the church and ordained by Bishop Charles Agyeiwaa. To him, the survival of mankind depends solely on the will of the Almighty. He advised the youth against the rush to get rich quick, adding, with hard work, commitment, and determination, you can make it in life. Mr. Mensah commended the UCC, CCT, TTU, and the chairman and management of Muhinani Group and companies for their contribution to his success.
Yɛnto aso de ane yɛmu nwuram ɛwɔ krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so dumiɛnsa COVID-19 mmerɛ mu obi esu sɛ ahokyere ba nneɛma ntwa yie ɛde nkura ne yɛwa yɛtare a na awan wɔn kɔ wɔn anim na COVID-19 no ɛtwe wɔn ɛsan na so Kofi Mensah ɛyade a saa amanneɛ mu nyinaa akyi no yare kodi ewu ne nyinaa ogusu ɛyɛ adɔyɛ ɛboa afoforo sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ afei nso no kora mpo wɔyɛ nkyerɛ wɔboa amanfoɔ ɛba ne sɛ nea ɛbɛyɛ no ɔmo so wɔn bɛnya biribi ayɛ de a ɛyade a wɔbɔ mpa no ɔmo so wɔn ani adwuma bi ɛde aboa wɔn ho ɛwɔ abrabɔ ne titiriw ɛne nnabunu no nti ade a wɔgye wɔn kyerɛkyerɛ pa wɔboa wɔn sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na ɔmo so mpo COVID-19 yareɛ no ɛbaayɛ akyerɛ sɛ lockdown bere no nyinaa no kora na ɛyade a wɔbɔ ne ho mmɔden ɛboa amanfoɔ paa ɛno ɛna owura Kofi Mensah ɛto aso wɔwɔ kyerɛ sɛ ni yiedie ni ade nyina akyi no enye sɛ di abusua ne n'adwumaden kwanti na emom no eye nyame no nyame na nkasa obo ade no ada roma ene mo no nso ne sɛ etumi ka bi ema wɔkye ema ne so afoforo so na owura suma ɛto aso ɛda eye UCC CCT na afei nso TTU fo ne dwom training ɛde management ne nyina ase so mu nyina ɛka ho bi ene nkunimdie ayomode a
page 16. COVID-19 testing enhanced. Logistics procured. Upon Nkrumah. The Minister of Information, Mr. Kojo Upon Nkrumah, has said the government has taken delivery to adequate COVID-19 logistics to resume the national testing program at full throttle. He said the program suffered setback due to shortages of some logistics a few weeks back, but the situation has been rectified. The government has started taking delivery of laboratory equipment and supplies that are expected to increase the country's COVID-19 testing capacity and address current hiccups in testing, he said. Speaking at the national COVID-19 briefing in Accra yesterday, Mr. Oponkroma said contrary to speculations, the five-part national strategy of limiting importation, containing spread, adequate care for the sick, limiting socioeconomic impact and ensuring local content had not changed and was being followed actively. He said although the country had recorded significant strides in the fight against the COVID-19, it was imperative for Ghanaians to continually abide by the safety protocols to curtail the spread of the virus. What we need to reiterate is that people should not take solace in improving numbers to be reckless. We need to maintain our vigilance so that we can continue our proven track record, he said. He said out of the 774 treatment capacity, only 299 patients were in the treatment centers nationwide. 387 were in isolation, while 3,372 were being managed from home in isolation. He said recovery had been very fast, locally and occurring amongst particularly those between 20 and 39 years and people without underlying health conditions. He, however, cautioned that the high recovery rate was not an excuse for the public to relent in the adherence to the safety protocols because it could erase the strides made to escalate the national burden of active cases. Dr. Kuma Bwaje appealed to the public to continue in the right use of nose masks strictly in public, adhere to the respiratory and hand hygiene among all other preventive measures.
Yɛnto ase wɔ daily graphic waka asane fa a ɛtɔ so dunsia ndi a ewura akɔgye ɔpɔn nkɔmɔsoafo a ɔhɛ yɛ nama ne bɔ nsɛm so ɛna ɔde nsɛm to dwa wɔkyerɛ sɛ ɛba no COVID-19 di a aban ɛde hyehyɛ egu akom a wɔn apoapa ɛba ne sɛ yɛbɛ test ne ade ne nyinaa bibia etumi akɔ so yɛ nhyehyɛ ne nyinaa adeda yɛ no ɛna ɔtɔ so no ɔhyɛm sɛ COVID-19 wei mu deɛ ɛba ne sɛ Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, Professor William Ampofu, and the same to your watch say, Niema Akoso Torte, Eddie Amawomo, the Abane said, test Nimpo dear, a woman tested Bebro 100,000 and I face with 300,000 actually say, samples are woman taking within 3 months and then know what I say, Banter COVID-19 is one, machines are woman did to many nano, woman bomb modern say, woman best so. Edi dwuma yie eno na Dr. Kuma Aboagye enso to aso awokyere se eba ne sen hyehyɛ na ewum se yare no dodo na enya yaresa bum nanso yenhye ye mask no yenhoro yensen hyehyɛ no yenkosoa eni su se na ebe yebetumi etu yare na se krakrakra efi omman yi mu wona a wonya ayaresa nyina wom de ho nsɛm epiem ewo krataa mu akyɛ se wotumi se eni kapan yie.
Yes, also our page 18. Chaos at West Achim Assembly. There was a pandemonium at the Assembly Hall of the West Achim Municipal Assembly in the Eastern Region when a fifth attempt to elect a presiding member turned chaotic. The free-for-all fight among some assembly members and other guests supporting the two candidates vying for the position brought the meeting to an abrupt end. A few policemen at the venue found it very difficult to control the situation as most of their colleagues had been deployed to the various registration centers to supervise the exercise. The nasty incident started when one of the two contestants, an assembly member for the Achim Osenase, Mr. Amegbelezomenu, stepped down for Brigadier General Kwame Opon Ochre retired, a government appointee who was also the Jasehine of Asamankese, to go unopposed. When it was time for Brigadier General Opon Ochre to be acclaimed through yes and no votes, one of the assembly members suggested that 2 members should be selected, one for yes and the other for no. Mr. Deborah Jamfi, the West Achim Municipal Electoral Officer, turned down the suggestion and rather decided to use the head count for the acclamation. A member of the public who was watching proceedings from outside the assembly hall forced his way into the hall and gave the assembly member for Akwedum Esuofori, Mr. Tete Zakaria, a dirty slap for no apparent reason. The situation developed into a free-for-all fight between the supporters of the two men. Considering the tense situation at the ceremony, Brigadier General Opon Ochre announced his intention to give up the position citing growing incidents of indiscipline as his reason.
Yɛnto asɛ ɔkra sɛ nifa ɛtɔ so du wɔtwe bi a wei amanyɔsɛm na akɔpiem ɛwɔ kyerɛ sɛ apuei mantam asaman kɛse wɔ Somasen pɔtam hɔnom no bi a nsɛm no akɔyi de gya hɔ ne nyinaa ɛyɛ abatoɔ ho nsɛnsɛm a ɛyɛ a ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ apuei mantam na saa nsɛm no nyinaa ɛhyɛ aseɛ ɛwɔ bere a assembly member ɛde ma Akyemmɔsen ase owura amegbere zomilo ɛyɛ sɛ wɔ free so na kyerɛ sɛ wɔde bibia ahyɛ brigadier general Kwame Opon Ɔkyere nsa ɛno ɔyɛ retire sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na wɔbɛgyina mu a wɔbia ɛne no ɛmpere ho wɔsan so ɛyɛ gyasehene ɛwɔ asaman kɛse sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na ɔno nkwan bɛgyina mu de wɔbia ɛne ne mpere agwan wɔ ɛno ɛna nam so ma kyerɛ sɛ mentime ho ase wɔ nyina ɛkɔɔ so a nsɛm no akɔyɛ degya ɛwɔ apuei mantam asaman kɛse wɔ Ɔsomase mpɔtam hɔ no.
Yɛtoa so ɛwɔ page 19, PNC elects Northeast Regional Executives. The Northeast Regional Branch of the People's National Convention last Saturday endorsed new regional executives to steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. The executives were endorsed by popular acclamation by delegates from all the 6 constituencies in the region at Narilegu. They are the regional chairman, Mr. Ben Bukhari, the regional secretary, Mr. Al-Hassan Bashiru, the regional women's organizer, Mrs. Rita Isaka, and the regional treasurer, Mr. Jacob Nabla. Swearing the new executives into office at the Congress, the national women's organizer of the party, Ms. Janet Nabla, urged them to remain united and work hard to improve on the electoral fortunes of the party at the 2020 polls. Let's work in unity for a collective goal in spite of our divergent views. Let's stop using the party to make money for ourselves. Ms. Nabla said it was time for the party to rise up and rescue Ghanaians from the shackles of both the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress. On the appointment of the founder of the party as an ambassador at large by President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, she said, "Our founder only accepted the position because he believes in inclusive governance, and that is the ideology of the party." She called on Ghanaians to shun the MPP and the NDC who had failed to omanim kan ewo hono na ebra kire se yeju wo mu etu mu no National Women's Organizer edema amanyuku Miss Janet Nabra ehye obia se afimpinu ene adunu abato na eba bekoso obia enyire ne ho emmọ adwumaden se ne ebeye na wo mo nso wo betumi edi nkunim ewo abato me no na otoas no kire se nkabom ebetumi aboa ama bibia akosotote na emom no mo fen si omani so na so mo fen to makoma se wo mo dia ne se wo mo beye na wo manyom kakra we yesika bi ede abo mo bra enye sa ene se so mo ye na emom no yese so mo bom ho moden wo mo sori na mo ye adwuma ebeboa wo man Ghana etimamufuo nyina wo kirem bi MPP amanyuko ni NDC amanyuko ni ese so mo PNC amanyuko no mtumi ye bibi na wo mo de eyi omufi akoma na se wo nema entwe ye no wo ba no betumi eba ebeye mu ensakraye nti nsem a women organizer ni edit to dwa no. It was so our page 20. President resumes work today. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is expected to resume out-of-home work today after being in isolation for 14 days. The president has been in self-isolation since July 4, 2020. Speaking at the National COVID-19 Update briefing in Accra yesterday, the Minister of Information, Mr. Kojo Oponkroma, said the president will attend to businesses from out of his office at the Jubilee House from Monday. He said the president had tested negative after the 14-day precautionary self-isolation. The president of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is expected to resume out-of-home engagements from Monday, July 20, 2020 after a 14-day precautionary self-isolation period. He said the precautionary isolation was on the advice of doctors after at least one person within his close circle tested positive a couple of weeks ago. The president had been working from the presidential villa in the Jubilee House during the period. Mr. Oponkroma said the government was grateful to all well-wishers. The president went to self-isolation for 14 days as a precautionary measure after being exposed to a person who tested positive for the coronavirus. He, however, tested negative after his first samples were taken and has since been engaging in his official duties from the presidential villa. On July 7, 2020, the government announced that Mr. Osafo had tested positive for the COVID-19. It said the disclosure was in consonance with the government's transparency policy and with Mr. Osafumafo's permission. Mr. Osafumafo joined the list of some government officials who had announced the results of their COVID-19 test. The Minister of Health, Mr. Kwekwagyima Menu, a former Deputy Trade and Industry Minister, Mr. Carlos Ahenkra, are the other government appointees who have publicly announced they are testing positive. The disease has also claimed the life of the CEO of the Forestry Commission, Mr. Kojo Owusu-Efriye, popularly known as Sir John. He reportedly died from COVID-19 complications at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where he had been in intensive care on July 1, 2020. On June 24, Member of Parliament Mr. Damboche and the Minister of Education, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, also announced that they were awaiting results of their COVID-19 test after they had been admitted at the University of Ghana Medical Center.
Yento daily graphic wakata ne fa etosu eduonu ne dia Ghana mampani Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado breba ya na esese wotin ne fi se woni obi edi ehiem anase nyi nkita hodi ya no nipa no enya COVID-19 yare bi ni senti no na esese wotin ho na du 9 chese 14 days se ne be na improve se koba ne se wo yare ni bia wonfa enko saya foforo na ne de bibia abawe ye mamampani Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado se ne na o hye na kache na wo bo adwuma wo wuntumi mpie ne de mre na enya age BS se opie na wo hye na adwuma ase e wo montre ne ade ntia no nsem na eba bepie krata yi ma ne fa etoso eduonu
Yet also our page 20 where local government ministry Zoom Lion disinfects 1,000 markets nationwide. The government has started the second phase of the nationwide disinfection of markets and other public places as part of the measures to control the spread of COVID-19. The exercise, which is being carried out by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in collaboration with Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, a waste management company, is targeted at disinfecting, fumigating, and cleaning more than 1,000 markets in the 16 regions of the country. Unlike the first phase, in which markets were the main focus, the scope of work in the second phase has been widened to include the disinfection of public toilets, lorry parks, and other public space which could potentially host the virus. A combined team of personnel from the security agencies, particularly the Ghana Armed Forces and the Ghana Police Service, has been deployed to provide security to support the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies to successfully carry out the exercise. Ahead of the commencement of the exercise in the Greater Accra region yesterday, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Agyeiwaa Halima Mahama, directed that all 16 regional ministers and the Regional Coordinating Council to coordinate the disinfection exercise in their respective regions. She further urged the metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives to take particular interest in the exercise since it would contribute significantly to tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. The minister added that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development had been given the mandate by President Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado to lead and coordinate all stakeholders for the thorough nationwide disinfection of all public spaces, a mandate which he expressed commitment.
Yenta se okrata ne fa etoso eduonu ho na ade a de kenkan sisi anase ho na we local government asweye no Zoom Lion send ya COVID-19 yare man homeless abreni abribia no mdi enro petepete ye airport ni ade nyina mdi enro bia petepete send ya be ye betimi akọ etia yare no na second phase no asha se nationwide infection enro ada na sha se enkrampumpu mantem ha se di wo mudi bi petepete am na ama enra se bi ko twam wo dome hu se enka du kwasi ada de a me ka me kire wunya ba bi kura na ade wo
Sunday
afa na so enra de omutie na superma wo mama me na mi hye mi dwa otum se honomo atendi ama Zoom Lion fo so enya ho ebo mo adwumati mi gidi se ban se di no petepete na wo bia agi atumu aka se ne de ye makwan na wo mommo a bi se yade no yenya ne edi esi ntia ma kwan Asi ye di nnuro ni pete eboa ahenti eno ade ame me de mani ehu ye e wo do me market na enu nti mi gidi say market ahoro ne so niema sa ekoso ebeboa na me etumi etu yare na se fresh o man Ghana mo
ne COVID-19 enche betu ase if your man Ghana mo yet waso ewo page 23. 28 communities get electricity in Fantiakwa North. 28 communities in the Fantiakwa North District in the Eastern region have been connected to the national grid for the first time under the Rural Electrification Project. The project, which is part of $90 million contract the government awarded to a Chinese contractor, China International Water and Electricity Corporation, last year, is to connect 300 communities in the Eastern region to the national grid. The beneficiary communities include Besibom, Owusukrom, Etuata, Ntanwam, Kumfre, Aigbe Town, Fayase, Asiribonsu, others, and Mafukrom, Ekumusu West, Amwatre, and others. There was jubilation among residents of the beneficiary communities last Friday when the new Patriotic Party Member of Parliament for the area, Mr. Kwesiama Nkwesiama, officially switched on the lights at the ceremony, throwing the people into a frenzy with some singing and dancing. The MP said government was working together, extending power to the remaining communities, which had not had electricity for decades. Mr. Isiama said it was through the efforts of himself and the District Assembly in partnership with the Electricity Company of Ghana that the dream became a reality. The chief of Asulubosu, Nana Kwame Boateng, also commended the government for providing them with electricity. Some of the residents who spoke to the Daily Graphic also expressed their excitement about the electricity connection and prayed for the government to bring more development to the area.
Yenso ase okrata ni fa etoso eduonu miensa ne de a ekopem e wo Fantiakwa North de a communities mi fansa mpotem eduonu wotwe 28 ene ban se enyirem kane a ha wo so wo nsa ka bia abeye anije sempa eno no Fantiakwa North District e wo epueye mantem eye Eastern region na ne nyina na project no sika aban e de share Chinese contractor na sase ne be number boy adwuma eye $90 million ena muso omode abo adwuma se na ebe na eba nse nyinam kane a ho akwa atwe wo baabi na wo so wo nsa ebeka bie na no bisibuom owusu krom etiate Ntanuam kumfre ena afenso asarkoi Agyeiwaa town fayase esribosu nyade ebrosu en abobo aboabo nso eka ho bi sanso ena maafu krom ekumusu west amotare ejamamu chirepon ofosu krom afenso ekuyatifi ena miawa eno ene chesemantem ahoro a wom nso mpotem ahoro a wom nsa eka yinam ka na ebi ede wosebo ne anije wom nyina wom eni egiye papa nanum ena efutuo edeko edema wom se wom nsa aka no omomo modern na wom nso wom nye eniema ne kwans pepepe abankrat fani a wo Fantiakwa North eye owura Charles oware twenebo a kire se wo bibia mo no modern se wom behwe nkane esu yie papa ese bebo wom ankasa emom dwuma nyina etumi akosuye momo nye niema a ede oja hyehye ene ade ebeba sanso na Eastern Regional Marketing Manager edema ECG Mr. Abraham Lincoln damechi enso kire se wo bia enyere ne ho na omommoa se na ebe na bibia ebetumi akosotote obra wom nsa aka enjirem kan ne ano tese wei ene dia wom edi tudwa na owo eye esribosu na Kwame Boateng enso eda aban ase enam nkane a wom nso wom nsa aka no ebra wom ni Daily Graphic for etwetwenkom na okire se ECG ene Ghana ban nyina wom ayo makoma so ade ede amawo.
Yes, so page 24, GES to recruit 2017-2018 teachers. The Ghana Education Service is to recruit teachers who completed colleges of education in 2017 and 2018 before the next academic year. The service has, therefore, asked only graduates who completed within those years to apply for employment to work at places where their services would be most needed in the country. However, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa, who disclosed this to the Daily Graphic in Accra last Saturday, explained that applicants to be considered under the special window of opportunity were those who did not qualify for employment on completion of their respective courses during the last requirement exercise because they either had issues with their results or were referred in some papers but were now qualified. This recruitment is strictly for applicants who completed colleges of education in 2017 or 2018 only, he further emphasized. The Director General directed interested applicants to access the Ghana Education Service official web portal www.gespromotions.gov.gh to complete application forms and attach valid certificates on before August 15 this year. He gave an assurance that advertisement for the recruitment of other categories of teachers will be out in due course and insisted that for a teacher to be considered for recruitment, he or she needed to pass the Ghana Teacher Licensure examinations. Interested applicants must complete their programs in either 2017 or 2018 without any referral paper and must have finished their mandatory one-year national service. The person must have also passed the Ghana Teacher Licensure examination. Such applicants have up to August 25 this year to apply. On Monday, January 13 this year, some trained teachers in the 2017 and 2018 year batch converged at the Ghana Education Health headquarters in Accra, where they picketed and demanded to be posted. The picketing led to the arrest of 8 of the leaders of the group by the ministry's police for unlawful gathering.
krataa mfimfini pɛɛ ha nkyɛ sɛ Daily Graphic krataa n'anua mu ɛna yɛgu so egyina ne fa ɛtɔ so 24 ne 25 no ɛntɛm hɔnom no GES na hyɛ sɛ asoɛyɛ a ɛhwɛ yɛn adesua nsɛm so Ministry of Education nti we GES ɔman Ghana Education Service for ɛna ɔmde nsɛm ato dwa ɔmo kyerɛ sɛ akyerɛkyerɛfo wɔn a wɔkɔ school ɛkɔgye nimdeɛ sɛ akyerɛkyerɛfo mu wi afempinu ɛne du nso ne afempinu ne du wɔtwe ntɛm no mmra so sɛ yɛhyɛ ase ɛfa wɔm na asa ne yɛbɛfa nyɛ sɛ wakɔ awie kekenti yɛfa wɔ sɛ sɛ licensure examination no wɔn so wɔatwerɛ bi na wɔtwa ansa na yɛbɛfa nti ɛnyɛ sɛ wɔawie keke ne yɛfa na emom no nhyehyɛe bebree egu hɔ nom a ɛsɛ sɛ wudi so na wotumi di so na wotwa ansa na yɛbɛfa afei nso wo a wantumi ayɛ wade na sɛ wo nyɛma nyina enkoyi wo ntwerɛ so hwene ade yɛma ekɔpem August bosom ne da ɛtɔ so 25 no so wobetumi a apply ebi sɛ ne bɛyɛ na ɛba nsa akyerɛkyerɛfo mtim abɔpe wa yɛ form akodi dwuma na wɔn so ɛbɛfa waka ho bi.
Yet also our page 25, Kolebu introduces new therapy for treatment of prostate cancer. The Kolebu Teaching Hospital has introduced the intensity modulated radiation therapy, a new advanced and efficient method for the treatment of prostate cancer, administered by the National Radiotherapy Oncology and Nuclear Medicine Center of the hospital. The new therapy will augment the existing 3 curative treatments: radical prostatectomy, brachytherapy, and external beam radiation therapy, and also improve Ghana's capacity for treating cancers and tumors. The head of the center, Dr. Jowoyani, described IMRT as an advanced mode of high-precision radiotherapy and used computer-controlled linear accelerator to deliver precise radiation doses to the tumor or specific areas around the tumor. Dr. Yani said with the installation of the IMRT, the center had become the only place in the country with the capacity to treat prostate cancer. He said it reduced the side effects to the patient as it allowed for the radiation dose to conform more precisely to the 3D dimensional shape of a tumor by modulating and controlling the intensity of the radiation beam in multiple volumes. The IMRT reduces the side effects to patients, particularly in terms of radiation. It helps us adjust the radiation beam to the contours of the cancer, allowing for higher and more effective dose of radiation to be delivered while minimizing the exposure to surroundings, healthy tissues. He said the new therapy could also help in the treatment of other cancers and tumors, such as in the brain, breast, lungs, head, neck, and gynecological cancers. Dr. Yani said prostate cancer was the commonest cancer among Ghanaian men, saying that the condition in its early stages had no symptoms and therefore regular screening was required. However, difficulty and or pain in passing urine could be signs of the extensive case or stage of the disease. Meanwhile, difficulty or pain in passing urine is not synonymous to prostate cancer as many perceive. According to him, the only way to diagnose the disease early was to screen and therefore appeal to men, especially those above 50 years, to get screened at health facilities. Prostate cancer is a cancer that occurs in the prostate, a small walnut-shaped gland in men that produces the seminal fluid that nourishes and transports sperm. If detected early, when it is still confined to the prostate gland, has a better chance of successful treatment. The cancer may cause no sign or symptoms in its early stages, but when it becomes advanced, it may cause signs and symptoms such as trouble urinating, decreased force in the stream of urine, blood in semen, discomfort in the pelvic area, bone pain, and erectile dysfunction.
Krataa ne fa ɛtɔ so aduonu enum no wokɔ ekopiem wɔ kolebudi a obi akasa kɔ alebu kolebu wokɔ ekopiem wɔ hɔnom de ɛba nsɛ prostate cancer wobepiem wɔ man Ghana ha de a edi ahim wɔ ha papaapa ntitiri yɛn nuanom mmarima na asɛ ɛyɛ papa nom na ɛha wɔn adwen pa na ne wɔn de new therapy kora ba ebetumi aboa na yare prostate cancer na yɛtumi asɔ ano na no na kolebu teaching hospital wɔn de aba wɔn kyerɛ sɛ ɛbɛboa paa ama bibia etumi akɔso tɔɔte na yare nso sɛ ɛba dɔkta yɛn na ɛdi nsɛm tu dwa wɔ kyerɛ sɛ ahyɛseɛ no wɔnhyɛ da ɛnhu sɛ bibi se ne nkɔ yibi se ne nkɔ yɛ nti manya yare no bi ɛbɛyɛ kakra ɛbɛkyɛ kakra nsa na wahyɛ aseɛ ɛhu signs and symptoms no ne sɛnti no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛtumi ɛhwɛ ɛho nsɛm yie papaapa no ɛna ɔsrɛ ɔde adesrɛdeɛ ɛkɔ ɛmɛɛmɛ yɛn nuanom mmarima na as papa ne tutu ɛne wɔn a wɔnya mfie aduonu ɛkɔ no ɔkyerɛm bi a abere ne abere bia na ɛsɛ sɛ wɔn bɔ mmɔden ɛtwe bɛn ayaresabea na wɔn ɛkɔyɛ screening ɛhwɛ sɛ yare no wɔn wɔ bi anaasɛ wɔn nni bi sɛ ɛyɛ ana signs and symptoms no ɛndeɛ di ntɛm ɛbɛda adi bɛwie na ebi a nneɛma ɛyɛ aka akyire no saa no sɛ bi bɛrima ɔkɔ no wakɔ akɔbu nso a ɛno no wɔ bere paa wɔte yawa a ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa akɔ nti ɛno ho nsɛm nyinaa ɛna krataa ɛde ɛba ɛbɛpiem wɔ ne fa ɛtɔ so aduonu enum.
Yɛtoa so ɛwɔ page 28. Wasi attrition not strange. Ghana Education Service Director General. The Ghana Education Service has explained that the attrition of the number of the 2020 West African Senior School Certificate Examination candidate is to be expected. The Director General of the GES, Professor Akosomo, explained that for every cohort of students who start an education program, there was always attrition. In 2017, a total of 362,775 students made up the senior high and the technical schools were enrolled. Explaining the differential in the figures, Professor Opoku-Amankwa said that 362,775 students was the sum of the total beneficiaries of the free senior high school program in the senior high schools and those pursuing the technical and vocational courses. A total of 20,000 technical and vocational training students who are beneficiaries of the free senior high school will be writing their final exams on August 3rd, 2020. He said the total of the two was 333,838, implying that 28,937 of the students dropped out along the line. Throwing more light on the number, Professor Opoku-Amankwa said the attrition of the numbers could be due to the fact that some of the candidates abandoned their offers because they did not get their preferred choices and decided to write the exams in order to better their grades. He said that could explain the rise in the enrollment in Form 1 and 2. The total enrollment for the current Form 2 is 432,775, while Form 1 is 404,944 students. Others might have opted out to go to the private senior high schools, Professor Opoku-Amankwa explained, adding that in such cases, the number would definitely go down.
Krata ne fa etoso aduonu wotwe na nsem na ebepim wɔ krata Professor Kwesi Upuku Amankwa ena oda krata mu akyerɛ sɛ wɔde nsem abepim wɔ Daily Graphic wɔ wakrasɛm na ne nsem nyina sɛ ban sɛ wasi nsɔhwɛ na wɔn ɛtwerɛ na afi deɛ no numbers no ɛso ate na ne anɔpɛ kura na mehwɛ abɛfo ntafide so amanfo tirim bi a afimpinu ani dunkron yɛ hɔ mom kɔtwerɛ wasi ne yɛhwɛ afimpinu ani dunwɔtwe ne afimpinu ne aduonu mu a kyerɛ numbers na ensakra ya bem na amanfo sɛ afimpinu ne aduonu mu ma free SHS ne ade na ba ne sen na numbers na esu etumi tie ne no na Professor Kwesi Upoku Amankwa de ho mu ayaba wo kyerɛ sɛ ba ne sɛ wɔn a wɔkɔ free SHS na wɔn ɛdɔɔso yie paa nanso na ebinom wɔ hɔ nom a hu hia sɛ wɔn bɛsa akɔkɔtwom so hwɛ ne ade ne bi ne ade anti ne nyinaa ɛnam so na numbers na ɛso sɛ no kyerɛ sɛ numbers ne deɛ ɛso na ate ne deɛ ɛnya ade nwanwa kora.
Yes, so our page 38. COVID-19 must change youth skills development dynamics. Spiel Gabra. The African Business Center for Developing Education, a non-governmental organization, says it has become more critical for Ghana and the global community to step up efforts to improve the skills of the youthful population in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. It said skills development among the youth was critical to a sustainable development and underscored the need for national and global conversations around the phenomenon at this time that the global education ecosystem remained physically closed. Speaking via webinar last Thursday to commemorate the 2020 United Nations World Youth Skills Day, the local scene, the founder of ABCDE, Dr. Akosomo Gabra, said COVID-19 pandemic and lockdown measures had led to the nationwide closure of technical and vocational education and training institutions, and that was threatening the continuity of skill development. The World Youth Skill Day, marked every July 15, is a UN initiative organized by the UNESCO to recognize the strategic importance in equipping young people with skills for employment, decent work, and entrepreneurship. It is also to highlight the crucial role of skilled youth in addressing current and future global challenges. The initiative was birthed in November 2014 at the United Nations General Assembly when 15th of July was selected as a World Youth Skill Day. Out of the number of countries around the world that are deemed to make the greatest contribution to the American economy and the assessment of countries and their contributions to the US in particular, it turned out that Ghana came top. But the question is to what extent that reflects in the youth development program instituted locally, particularly in the informal sectors, apprenticeship below the degree level, where students were specializing in skills such as plumbing and electricals. Dr. Spielgabra said those informal sectors presented the real job opportunities and skill development opportunities.
Yɛnto aso ɛwɔ Daily Graphic wakrata ne fa etoso aduasa wotwe dia Dr. Akosomo Gabra no ne mfoni ɛda ha se bode nsɛm matodwa ban sɛ Africa Business Center for Developing Education and ABCDE and non-governmental agency and omde nsɛm anas organization omde nsɛm matodwa wo mo kyerɛ sɛ ba ne sɛ mebunu wo dwumadi ensan wadwuma ne ade na ɛyɛ ɛboa pa nanso COVID-19 mremu ama asa nneɛma atwetwe akacha na sɛ nneɛma ɛyɛ akɔ atwe is a COVID-19 ban sɛ technical and vocational education and training institutions na COVID-19 yɛre nti no wɔn nnwuma na sɛ wɔn adesua no atwe akakyire nanso bra afi biara July bosom ne da ɛtɔso dunum no yetu esi wɔ sɛ World Youth Skills Day no ɛboa ɛma wɔn nso wɔn tumi enya wɔn adwuma ɛyɛ no wano ɛno no UNESCO foɔ ɛna aka abom ahyehyɛ sɛ dwumadie sɛ ne ɛbɛyɛ na ɛbɛboa ma mmabunu nso wɔn enya adwuma ayɛ na nkɔba ne sɛ ɛde wɔ hia ne ade bɛbɛ kɔba ne sɛ mpo ɛboa ɛma ɔman yɛtumi etu mpɔn yɛ afa yɛn ntoma pa ɛde efra
aba wohwa ɛnɛ na amafo mo pensa no adwuma
ebi mpɛ ba wo sɛ yɛkasa certificate na ɛyɛ mom nanso na wo sɛ enye obiara na
ebetumi
obi akata enye obiara na ɛbɛtena office but obi wonom pra yɛhwɛ enye sɛ me yɛde to ba yɛhwɛ A100 ekwan be na fa so baaye osi okosu ko obi ye oye se metu burudu amafo sere no etia na mka se me koye kwadu business after na se wo eti ekoba ansa amafo enso ene yi ba bia be fe bia edi ahim ewo ho no nti mi de bu nse se wo mu se wo nim die na se wunya bibi ka ho na se wo de wodidi wadwuma eboa pa ema bibi etimi yekoso yie ma.
Yes, so our page 29, GSE to support listed SMEs affected by COVID-19. The Ghana Stock Exchange has announced that it will soon roll out some measures to support small and medium enterprises listed on the Ghana Alternative Market, which had been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Responding to questions at the exchange's annual general meeting, which was held as a virtual event at its head office in Accra, the managing director, Mr. Akosomo, said although the exchange had not yet rolled out any measures to support them, it will soon do so. As we speak, we have not come up with any concrete measure to support them, but we have realized that other markets are putting in place measures to support their SMEs. As an exchange, we will also support them. Already, we have made it very easy for them to raise money on that. Well, but we will soon come out with other measures to support them. Sharing the exchange 2019 performance, the outgoing chairman of the GSE Council, Mr. Albert Essien, said the GSE, despite the challenges in 2019, posted a surplus after tax of 8.43 million Ghana cedis. This was, however, lower than Ghana's 11.97 million Ghana cedis recorded in 2019. This notwithstanding, the net liquidity grew by 21% to 22.93 million Ghana cedis, and the reserve fund improved by 39% to 15.32 million Ghana cedis, Mr. Essien stated. He noted the market turnover in 2019 was, however, higher than the previous year, and this was due to some extraordinary trades. The volume of shares traded for the year stood at 2.8 billion shares valued at 624 million Ghana cedis compared to the volume of 200 million shared volume at 659 million Ghana cedis for 2018. In the market capitalization for all listed companies in 2019 was 56.7 billion Ghana cedis compared to 61.1 billion Ghana cedis in 2018, representing a decrease of 7.11%. He said domestic market capitalization recorded a 10.66% depreciation ending December 2019 at 22.6 billion Ghana cedis compared to 25.3 billion in 2018.
Yentu aso ewo kura krata daily graphic ne fa ekoso aduasa enkro ne dia we GSE Ghana Stock Exchange for na ombre nsema to dwa wo mo kire se sambre die COVID-19 yare edibia badie ne sem na ne se ban se COVID-19 bremu ama small and medium enterprises no dwumadie no bebre na omdwumadie aka ekire no na owura eko afeji ede nsema to dwa wo kire se wɔn bɛboa pɔn bɛbɔ wɔn mmɔden aboɔm sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ no wɔn dwumadie nyinaa ɛbɛkɔ store tie sɛ kɔba ne saa kɔba ne sɛ wɔn nyɛ adwuma ne ade na ɛmɛ sika sɛmɛn totoɛ ɛkɔyɛ basaa nanso na wɔn boɔm so wɔn asen na wɔn tumi ɛfɔ wɔn ntoma pɛfua ɛbɔ wɔn adwuma sɛnea ɛsɛ ɛfata ɛbɛboa ɛma wɔn ayɛ nso yɛ sika sɛm ɛtumi apem ɛde akɔ n'anim.
Check on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Cylinder recirculation pilot extended to Yendi. The National Petroleum Authority has expanded the pilot phase of the cylinder recirculation model to cover Yendi in the northern region. This followed the successful launch of the pilot exercise at Adansi Fomena in the Obuasi in the Ashanti region, Akwatia in the eastern region, and Jomoro in the western region. The cylinder recirculation model is to ensure safety in the liquefied petroleum gas retail system and to create jobs and increase access to LPG to 50% in the country by 2030. It is also to ensure the existence of a robust and standardized health, safety, environmental practice in the production, marketing, and distribution of LPG. At the launch of the pilot phase of the exercise in Yendi last Friday, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Mr. Alhassa Tampuli, stated that not less than 4,500 jobs will be created through the cylinder recirculation model when it took full effect. Mr. Tampuli said engagement with key stakeholders and the public, including traditional authorities, market women, and drivers on the cylinder recirculation model had received positive response. He said the petroleum downstream industry over the years had witnessed accidents as a result of inappropriate handling of gas. Mr. Tampuli said Yendi was chosen for the pilot exercise because of the control and appropriate handling of LPG by the marketing companies in the municipality and also for being the gateway to the Eastern Corridor.
Yeah, had the back page of the Daily Graphic and seminar no. Akosomo wakade ban say cylinder na. Ukopie mu se om de akwati abaye efue mu antem akopie mu on importem ni mantem ahoro on peso so wo honum na. Te say assume filling station bi eni fie di hwe ni mu. Cylinders egu onya de kitwa che say wo hwe amanfo cylinders a ewo mu so a awe action kana
nti om ba no de abo ne anesisi
aha enu bi nti na ye de wo de kwa na chere say ya ma ofufuro na watie bi di asoso oh na amanfo so se ne akata advice e de ankeke ye no sa pepepe mi a me de mani kotwa we se a me hwetie idantem apa kohunu bi a se ne ye kọ ho no so ani ye pa nti e bia na wunye nti se wo cylinder no awe action arwaste a utimi se cylinder no gum kra na emu aye ha bo mondi a ise eboa mu ni nyina ka bo na wo bi cylinder abeti eja tom na du ja hyehye ni ade eboa ma yetumi akwete nti Daily Graphic the back page nsema epie wo ho no
see the Daily Graphic nsem na good na me catch us follow yen we various social media platforms Facebook and Instagram MHTV YouTube and Twitter so Marbling House Limited obetime die chi akwa your website na www.marblinghouse.com and you may also saw your snake a global sky security so oba CCTVs one sensem oba security man guards nini na obenye bi fencing bibia omobeya mo na global sky so hu ma from 0302 25 5225 0302 5225 ho na global sky so hu ya na nko ade a offer pe ubehia no see a Daily Graphic and seminal akoguni de ne twaso e with the Ghanaian Times Times
Akosomo ye beto ase wo Ghanaian Times yenhwe the mindset of the wise the mindset of the wise eno de ya ye mfe ni agro produce di a ye de som ahwefo senia ese efata na the mindset of the wise they are etosu edum no the etosu 9 they are when they etosu mu no na ya sha ase no say he understands that no lesson is easy and no test is easy. Many people understand that there are lessons and tests to be learned in life, but they are not ready for the harshness of the lessons or the test and the magnitude of impact it will have on them or their lives. Remember, life is measured in phases and on levels. Every level has its own unique lessons and tests. Aim to pass each test. Have a good morning.
Semi komankrofo bi a menim
Sabo. Yes, interest wo momo hom ade
die wo me Dr. Panie.
Enti abibia no se na meka wo se sua dem kropo na wan tro so wantwa nko wani e de se wo bo se na yanko enu asan me ma me se me ntra ma nem na me nyi ye me ka se wutumi se brother sister wutrum wani nti se wo wani enti enso hwe na abibia no sa na brabo no etie abrabo no sa na etie na won so wudi nyesuade ebi efirim wo nyesua hu bi efimu nti abibia no yenjere ye ho ayentwe enso hwe no yempem koye ne mu abrabo
say yempem koye ni e wa abrabo me the mindset of the wise no akogunti e be fight the Ghanaian Times newspaper no ni ahwe nsem a edi ehi ewo mu ye hyase a ne ye hyase efi page 3 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Now page 3 near farmer commits suicide after killing his wife. The Mile 5 cottage community of the Takwan Swayim municipality of the Western region is in a double agony as Eric Ahin, a 28-year-old cocoa farmer, commits suicide after allegedly killing his wife in June. After shooting Regina Efe Inkum 25, over divorce issues. The Nsawam police launched a manhunt for Ahen, but later a search party discovered that he had committed suicide in a nearby forest, the Ghanaian Times was told. The police revealed on Friday that the body had been retrieved and deposited at the municipal hospital for post-mortem examination. Ahen committed suicide according to the pathologist. He took poison. It was an act he planned and methodically executed it. The Nsawam District Police Commander, Superintendent of Police Jonas Agyeiwaa confirmed. He added that the duplicate docket, which had been prepared to forward to the Attorney General's office for advice and necessary action. In July, Superintendent Agyeiwaa told the Ghanaian Times that the deceased, Rojana Inkum, whose arms and hands were chopped off, died at the Efiang Kwanta Regional Hospital, saying that the body had since been deposited at the same hospital's mortuary. He narrated that the coupled natives of Gumuatakwa in the central region and married for about 8 years, had lived in Mile 5 for 5 years and had 2 children. According to the police commander, Regina Inkum was a cocoa farmer and had been working hard for years to cater for the family, while Ahen never bothered. At about 9 a.m. Wednesday, June 3, Regina decided to pack her personal belongings, provoking Ahen, who picked his machete while they were in their cocoa farm, inflicted multiple cuts on her and bolted from the scene.
Yeah, the Ghanaian Times krataa no etwa so de amama krataa ne fa etoso miensa no ensem we bra hyaase no ye de ho nsem eba ebesom wo MATV so ne eto so no na ebobo ban se de yakase ye hyaase a ye de mamosa akopim se ni nyina nsem no asie ebetu dewudewu ne sansem kro ya abrante Eric Ahino wonfie adunu wotwe beto odwa se wotwe nkrante ne nkrante pa edi twitwa na you know sane ne na ni nyina se ne ho kani yade a obo adwuma ye pa Regina Inkum na omo mofra mienu abrubia no omo ye ku e ban se ku adwuma na no no ye no de bom mofra hu ban o de hwa mofra na so bema no de bia no aka ne nsa ahye ni echese ndemri fem o mpebre kra o mpebre bakbak se ne no na Regina hwe no awade yi we de mekoso a nya de a ebeboa me na oma ware ache ye mfie wotwe afensu na omukotena eye ma 5 na omanya mfie num na ohwese ne niema ekona woto so emonti oyese wotase ne niema na wafiri oyo na abrante ese edi esomu edi ebewu wotwe nkrante etwitwanye na ebra womde ne ko ekopie mu ewo Efiang Kwanta Regional Hospital no fofie anto ata woto anananom ewo nsiedo Regina Inkum descent no womde ne to eye mortuary a ewo Nkwanta Regional Hospital ho no ma na nsem no gusu koso ano na abrante no hwese ne niema ko na eni enya descent no ono akasa woje ne kra efini se ne pra wo mma ne so de ne kopiem ewa yaresabia no nkyeremu aba ne kire se wo fa ndubone se ne be na obeje ne kra efini nsem
Aba na me nware umi ma me nko umpa adwuma osimetwa osika
wo se ma me ne konso e de ekombeku no
sawo
so okoba no wanya bi edi nti e de o he
de ase o de me fam na osi
ni awoye sisi amofra na mode omo nkwa ato esane mofra mienu maami yanka obo ne ho mode ndi ahwe wo mu wayi na fi ho adeswa ne beto wo so no wayi wo nya ba bi a wo de be fenti no wayi na so police fo aso sansem yi mu de na so no mu so mu na ohwe a ne mani ye nyane nti e na waje ne kra efi nseme ye mofra no wo mo hye de abusia henkafra.
Yet also our page 4 of the Ghanaian Times editorial, keeping markets safe amid COVID-19. One of the fertile areas for the spread of the coronavirus disease in the country is the marketplace. Apart from the huge number of people who congregate in the markets across the country daily, which is already a worry, observing COVID-19 health and safety protocols in the market is a major challenge to the authorities. It is in the light that the government has attached a lot of importance to disinfection and fumigation of markets across the country, and yesterday launched the second phase of the nationwide market disinfection exercise in Accra. The first phase was completed in March this year. The disinfection exercise is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, as well as metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. departments and agencies and aimed at markets, lorry parks, and public places in all the regions to curb the spread of the novel coronavirus disease in the country. In March, when the exercise was carried out, many praised the government for taking the bold step to shut the market to fumigate and disinfect as part of efforts to curb the deadly coronavirus, which was wreaking havoc across the country. Ironically, while efforts were ongoing to protect the country and the people from the virus, many others disregarded what was going on and went about their businesses, not only as usual, but also refused to adhere to the COVID-19 health and safety protocols of hand washing with water and soap, using alcohol-based sanitizer, and practicing social distancing. We also hold the belief that the market, where a lot of people congregate, would be much safer if they are kept clean and prevent the outbreak of the sanitation-related diseases. Indeed, if we all consider the exercise as an effort to protect all of us, half the battle could be won. By all means, let us all put our shoulders to the wheel and support the exercise by adhering to the health and safety protocols, particularly washing hands regularly, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and practicing social distancing.
Ghanaian Times kuro krataa no samufoɔ no na adwenkyerɛ na aba bepim krataa ne pa ɛtɔ so ɛnan na no ɔkyerɛ sɛ COVID-19 emire mu deɛ yare no ɛtra na hyɛ so tum sɛ dwadibea ahoroɔ no kopie mu asantemantam sɛ ya ebom kyim deɛ yare dodoɔ na enya edifi yɛ dwadibea ahoroɔ ne sɛntin aban so afa ato no so Zoom Lion Ghana wɔn obu adwuma yie pa abribi wɔn de enuro petepete sɛ ne bɛyɛ ne betumi akɔ atia COVID-19 yare ne no na kyerɛ sɛ phase 2 no ahyɛ ase a wɔn de enuro petepete ɛno ɛna ɔsɛmufoɔ na ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛdi nhyehyɛe ne so ne yɛyɛ oseti ɛbɛboa ama yɛtumi akɔ atia COVID-19 yare no ɛno ɛna Greater Accra Regional Minister owura Ismail ni ahyete enso de nsɛm to dwa wɔ kyerɛ sɛ ɛbɛyɛ anka MMDAs no wɔn mmoa paa no mfom nhyɛm sɛ deɛ ɛbɛyɛ na enuro yɛ de petepete yɛ dwadibea ahoroɔ no ebetumi akɔso tɔɔte saa nso ɛna COVID-19 nhyehyɛe no ɛba ne sɛ nsahoroɔ social distancing si yɛ important no yɛbɛdi ho ni na afensi ya sanitize yɛn nsa with alcohol based sanitizer yɛn nsa nkyɛn sɛ wodi nsuo gu nsa so ana wɔsene ɛyɛ afasamuna ɛka ho afensi yɛn nsuo a ɛtene ase ɛdeɛ sɛ Veronica Bakesisi akra deɛ baabi a obepiem bia ebi ɛwɔ hɔ no yɛmɔmɔdea ɛmfa ɛhohoro yɛn nsa sɛ ne bɛ yɛbɛko etia COVID-19 yare no metoa so deɛ ebiem COVID-19 yare no hwɛ obi wɔ no a oduru fie a ebia na pipe na ɛwɔ fie no wokɔ akɔ bie no korempo no amanfo la ebi obi ebubi woduru fie a wo de pure water kora na abɛte ano a usom a wutumi yɛ den ehwie egu nsa so han nti nso tene ne baabi ɛwɔ bi obetumi anyi nso a ɛtene wa hohoro wo nsa ɛwɔ ase nyɛ Veronica bucket ne nko ana wubenya nso a ɛtene ɛwɔ ase ne nyina yɛtumi de akɔatia yɛhwɛ ɛwɔ na ɛwɔ ho ɛtɔm na ɛhyɛ prime pan nti ɛbɔ mmɔden yɛ so yɛkutia ɛno ɛna ɛbɛbɔ na nyɛ sɛ bebre no ho tɔm no na yɛn so yɛte yare
na coronavirus said this too shall pass. For page 4 of the Ghanaian Times, phase 4 of voter registration exercise begins. The Electoral Commission yesterday started the 4th phase of the voter registration exercise in all the 16 regions as the country prepares for the December 7 general elections. The 4th phase, just like the 2nd and 3rd, will see officials of the commission move from one center to the other in the same constituency where the mass compilation of the new voter register was ongoing. This follows a day's rest on Saturday, July 18, for the general registration for officials at various centers, although the same day saw the continuation of the exercise at senior high schools and prisons. Again, as the EC had noted in a press briefing last Friday, the registration at the district offices continues for the aged, nursing mothers, pregnant women, and people with disabilities. During the last update, the Commission mentioned that it had registered a total of 7,279,237 in 16 days, which represented 48.5% of the targeted 15 million applicants for the exercise. The mass compilation of the new voter register commenced on July 30, and it is expected to end on August 6, 2020. Eligible participants are required to provide either a passport, a National Identification Authority identity card, a supporting document to enable one to be registered. For qualified applicants who do not possess any of the named documents, they are required to have two individuals who have any of the two documents or the new voter ID as guarantors.
Mental so dia Ghanaian Times for akrata no ne fa etoso enan no ase on ma be kan sisi anase ho no ma enun phase 4 of the voters registration exercise no ahya ase enu a na ahya ase bia na mpotem ho no enu na ahya ase obi nso de enye nru ne so egusu ekwa na wo nso mpotem ho ebedru so ne no na akrata de ba wo kire se abato commission ahye na djuma no ase ni nyina nse na ebeboa na ebetumi atrotro edi na December bosom ne da etoso enso yetumi ato aba asomdwe kwan so e de apa mampani a wo bedi oman yi so abato commission e de dwumadie no etoto amu wo empeso aso ahoro bebre mpo ye senior high schools ahoro ne prison ahoro no wo mu nyina wo mu eye voters registration yi bi na no e na abato commission e kirem se senia na wo hwe nim se dodo na ebetrotro wo mu din no yade a akoso senia na wo hwe anim etu hwe mu de a ahokeka amanfo ni kotro wo mu din ni ade ne de senia na wo hwe no no saa pepepe na ekoso eno to aso no che se new voters registration ehyiase ejumbosim ne da etoso ediasa ne nyina ebekwa wie ya che se July busumi ebewu emye wram ewo August busumi no ne da etoso ensia ewo afimpinu ene aduonu ansa na yedi new voters registration ebeba ewiye na obi ekọ akwakotro ni din a anse na enyi akade a esese onya National Identification Authority identity card eno no ye kan say Ghana card no na afi so passport a edimu na obetumi ade akwakotro ni enti sa de a ese onya garanta na o kire say we obetumi atro de ansa na ya ma wokwan ama won so watchru wudi nti we ene nsem epi okata ne fa etoso n9.
Here to also our African news, our page 5 of the Ghanaian Times. South Africans mark Mandela Day with focus on fighting COVID-19. South Africans on Saturday marked the Nelson Mandela International Day with a focus on fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. The best way to mark the event was to help prevent the spread of coronavirus, the government said, appealing to the public to continue to observe social distancing. Unlike previous years, no massive celebrations were held this year due to the pandemic. The day came amid the exponential increase in infections in the provinces. As at Friday, South Africa's cumulative number of confirmed COVID-19 cases jumped to 337,594, up by 13,373 from Thursday. Meanwhile, the country reported a further 135 COVID-19 deaths, bringing the total death toll to 4,804. The government reiterated its call to all South Africans to stay safe and minimize the spread of the virus by making preventive measures part of their cultural and religious practices. These include maintaining a physical distance of 1.5 meters, regularly washing hands with soap and water or an alcohol-based sanitizer, and wearing a nose mask when in public. South Africans had experienced 114 days of different levels of phased lockdown, whose aim was to flatten the infection curve. Stay safe, protect South Africa. Together, we can beat coronavirus, the government said.
Yehe kwakata ni fa etosu enune dia South Africa sene ya umdi Nelson Mandela International Day no koso na no memenda no na so ebre koso no COVID-19 hu dawru na omo boy sene beye na wo mu betimi akwatia yare nchese nhihye ni nyina wo mu ditudwa se wo mu endi so na akopim wo South Africa dia COVID-19 yare no epim ekwa na nimpa 337,594 afi wo ma omatwa nananom wonse do foforo kra eba ebeka hon eye oha eni eduasa eni 135 ama sesia wo mu dev toll no eye 4,800 aha wotwe eni 9.
Yet also our page 8 foreign news. World Health Organization worldwide COVID-19 deaths past 600,000. The World Health Organization reported a record increase in the global coronavirus cases for the second day in a row, within the total rising by 259,848 in 24 hours. The biggest increases reported on Saturday were from the United States, Brazil, India, South Africa, according to the daily report. The previous World Health Organization record for new cases was 237,734 on Friday. The deaths rose by 7,360, the biggest one-day increase since May 10. Deaths have been averaging 4,800 a day in July, up slightly from an average of 4,600 a day in June. Total global coronavirus cases surpassed 14 million on Friday, according to Reuters tally, marking another milestone in the spread of the disease that had killed nearly 600 people in 7 months. The World Health Organization reported 71,484 new cases in the United States, 45,403 in Brazil, 34,884 in India, and 13,373 in South Africa. India on Friday became the third country in the world to record more than 1 million cases of the new coronavirus, behind only the United States and Brazil. Epidemiologists say India is still likely months from hitting its peak. Cases in Brazil crossed the 2 million mark on Thursday, doubling in less than a month and adding nearly 40,000 new cases a day.
Yɛn hekata ne fa ɛtɔ so wɔ twene deɛ a ewiase afa na nyinaa apɔmuden ekuo World Health Organization wɔn de nsɛm aba beto bi a wɔn kyerɛ sɛ COVID-19 yareɛ no epem ɛkɔ n'anim abere bia no cases foforɔ kra na ɛba bɛka ho ebinom ɛtoa nananom ɛwɔ nsie do na yareɛ ɛhyɛ ase mbotome nsono ntem ne yɛhwɛ na watoa nananom ɛwɔ nsie do deɛ a kyerɛ 600,000 ɛna ɔmatoa nananom wɔ nsie do ɛnam COVID-19 yareɛ nti World Health Organization po na wɔn so wɔn bu ase ne bɛn na COVID-19 yareɛ no yɛbɛtumi akɔ etie no wɔn kyerɛ sɛ Brazil ade a yareɛ no ebi edi ehim ɛwɔ hɔ no mpa wɔn so ɛwɔ number na abere bia epem ɛkɔ n'anim.
Yɛtoa so ɛwɔ page 9. PPP holds virtual national convention. Nana Ofori-Wusu, the newly elected national chairman of the Progressive People's Party, has affirmed that the party holds the agenda for true change in the country's growth and development aspirations, will pursue aggressive policies, programs, and social interventions to rejuvenate indigenous businesses and transform the economy for rapid growth and development if voted into power in the December 7th general elections. Nana Wusu made this known at the 6th National Convention of the party held virtually in Accra on Saturday, where the party classified its mission under 4 pillars: a just and disciplined society, agricultural transformation, reforming and strengthening state institutions, and reform for good education.
Yenta sokata ne fa etoso enkro dia eye PPP amanyukuo no PPP amanyukuo no Progressive People's Party unya tesa party we dia no sa Papa Kwesi Indum na amanyukuo no na Papa Kwesi Indum ono na oyekofa ba de ma PPP amanyukuo no afimpinu ene dumie na afi afimpinu ene dunsiem no eno giram se Frankatuni de ma PPP amanyukuo no na wo mu hyiamu no ekoso national convention na omu chem se ni nyina eboa se na ebeye na banta afimpinu ene adu December boso ne da etoso nso no abato no wo mu betumi ato no asomdwem na omo nso nyame yade ma wo mu aba bedi oman yi so nti ano ho nsem na bepi mo kata ne fa etoso yankron.
Page 9, while political party youth to ensure peaceful elections. Youth leaders of the political parties in the central region have pledged their commitments to breaking the emerging cycle of electoral violence, tension, and apprehension before, during, and after elections in the country. They affirm their readiness to adhere to the Council to uphold national peace, unity, and harmony in the run-up to the December polls. Representatives of the 3 political parties, the New Patriotic Party, National Democratic Congress, and the Progressive People's Party, made the affirmation at a day's dialogue on ensuring a violence-free Ghana before, during, and after the 2020 elections in Ghana, the role of the youth by the youth and other stakeholders in Cape Coast.
Send draw about one not just a manti mebunu we sibeji we na koye ntokwane na chese sam akwakoye pasapasa wo mansa abato koso no na mebunu mekire dia afi we abato ne bibia ebekoso tote obehwese bibia ebekoso tote no banse NPP amanyuku NDC amanyuku na afi PPP amanyuku na womo na mebunu omo ne mebunu achese womo kabom na asumdwe kwanso bibia etumi akoso.
Yes, so our page 10, embark on clean campaigns. Hamdatu Ibrahim appealed to parties. The acting chairperson of the Convention's People Party, Agyeiwaa Hamdatu Ibrahim, has appealed to all political party leaders in the country to ensure they embark upon clean campaigns in the forthcoming general election instead of engaging in personality attacks. She said Ghana is recognized as a beacon of democracy and peace, and politicians should not allow politics to divide the country, and stress the need for political party leaders to educate and sensitize their members to stay away from conflict in the national elections. After all, we are all one people, one destiny, and one nation, and should not allow petty issues to divide us. What is most important is to support whoever wins the elections to govern the country and deliver Ghanaians from poverty, illiteracy, and diseases.
Then to us Ghanaian Times, nefa etoso edune dia. CPP amanyukuna Convention People's Party acting chairman is there would them say Jem training ede amawom Hamdatu Ibrahim ena ede nsem etudwa watch say se bibia ebekoso asumdwe kwanso de na chese ye nyina yen asedi nti se yehwe na bibia ekoso tote no ene chese de gubo nsem a wode etudwa se na ebe na afimpinu ani eduonu December abosome ne da etoso ensrono bibia ebetumi akoso wano.
Yet also our page 11, NLA warns public against social media lotto fraudsters. The National Lotteries Authority has urged the public to be cautious of lotto fraudsters using various platforms and strategies to defraud unsuspecting people. A statement from the Communications Bureau of the NLA said a number of people had fallen victim to the activities of lotto fraudsters who use social media platforms with the name and logo of NLA in different formats to attract victims. The National Lotteries Authority shall not be responsible for any losses incurred by unsuspecting people who are defrauded by those lotto fraudsters and social media miscreants.
Kata ni fa etosu du ba akona ide opi mu abefunti tafide so akora obehu loto lottery na de me kametro na egu onu obete scam and so still na ba ena omre be no na ose ameya no no director general Edema National Lottery Authority NLA4 ena o chese ba ne se abefunti videos ni ade a social media lotto fraudsters no mo no na bibia no omnam koti kwanso a womu edibu amanfo ntia ya ne yahwe ye ho se koba ne se womu daada na se womu de jewode ya eno no de womu ye ho hwea enye.
For page 11, where EC sacks 2 officials for alleged illegal registration in private house. The Electoral Commission has sacked 2 temporal officers who are arrested for allegedly registering people in a private housing family in the northern region. The 2, Mumuni Abila Yusuf, 26, and Mumuni Yoshao Kongosha, 32, were arrested in a private house in the Tamale South constituency, registering potential voters. The Northern Regional Crime Officer Superintendent Kwabena Ejapong Otu, in an interview, said the 2 were arrested upon a police intelligence report. The suspect, Yusuf, a data entry clerk, and Ibrahim, registration officer at Banshegu Registration Cluster in the Northeast Kwonja District in the Savannah region, were found as victims in a Tamale metropolis.
Kata ne fa etosu du ba akona abato commission ne de officials minu ya de abomo atwe wo masese se bra yegusu echotrudi a yempese basabasa bia ebekoso no mo de wo makwa akwahye ankwankwa bia bia wo mo hwese wɔn bɛtwerɛtwerɛ amanfoɔ di ɛwɔ bra ɛnyɛ mmara kwan so ne sentini yɛakyerɛ wɔn a yɛde wɔn bɛfa mmara kwan so.
Page 11 of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, ECG, Electricity Company of Ghana, has issued a disclaimer. The Electricity Company of Ghana has noted with great concern a misleading publication on some media platforms captioned electricity bills up by 17.5%. Government slaps us with new taxes increase after 3 months 50% waiver. The ECG wishes to inform its cherished customers and the general public that the PURC, which is mandated by law to review tariffs, has not informed ECG of any increase in tariffs. Neither has the ECG received notice from the government of Ghana of new or increased taxes to be applied to the current electricity tariff structure. ECG customers and the general public are therefore advised to ignore the misinformation since it is false.
ECG for Electricity Company of Ghana Limited. Wɔn de nsɛm aba abɛto yɛ wɔn kyerɛ sɛ ɛnɛ nsɛm ɛne nam mmɔntene sɛ wɔn no ɛba nsɛn nyinam kanea agorɔ no a wɔn ɛɛtu mu na ɛno nom kyerɛ sɛ nokorɛsɛm bia ɛnnim mpo no yɛama mo free electricity for bosome mmiɛnsa nti saa nsɛm no nyinaa sɛ bia no obi aka kyerɛ sɛ yɛtoto light bill mu a saa nsɛm wɔ nyinaa nokorɛ bia ɛnnim ɛmfi ɔmo aka kyerɛ.
Here to page 13, IGP makes changes at the top. Kofi Boakye now Director General, Legal and Prosecutions. The police administration has made changes to the police management board, with some members taking new responsibilities in the police command structure. Amongst them are Commissioner of Police Kofi Boakye, Head of Research and Planning, who has been moved to Legal and Prosecutions as Director General. COP Boakye, who takes over from retired COP Prosper Aglo, would be replaced by Central Regional Commander, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Paul Manley Arene. The Central Regional Command is now headed by DCOP Mrs. Habiba Atre Chumesi Sapum. The Accra Regional Police Command was also affected in the latest reshuffle as its DCOP Frederick Edu Enim has been moved to the Information and Communications Technology Department as Director General.
Yɛnto asa wɔ krataa ne fa ɛtɔso du mmiɛnsa no bi a IGP makes changes at the top. Kofi Boakye now Director General nkyɛ sɛ nsakraeɛ bebree na aba police adwumakuo no wɔn aka kyerɛ akyɛ sɛ owura Kofi Boakye sisi adeɛ wɔ no ɛna ɔyɛ Director General ɛde ma wɔn na ɔhwɛ nsakraeɛ no nkyɛ sɛ DCOP Kofi Boakye ayɛ yɛasesa ne nneɛma mu DCOP Paul Manley Awuni nso science nsakraeɛ no deɛ apa bebree na yɛba bɛwie deɛ nkyɛ sɛ yɛde the back page no ɛwɔ so de ama mo Ghanaian Times mu.
The back page of the Ghanaian Times. 90 former workers drag Coca-Cola to Labour Commission. 90 former employees of Coca-Cola Bottling Company in Ghana have filed a complaint against the company at the National Labour Commission, asking the commission to compel their employers to pay them 3 months redundancy package. The complainants, led by Emmanuel Adabro, brought the instant action against Coca-Cola for allegedly forcing them to resign without paying their redundancy compensation. They stated that the non-payment of the package was in contravention to Article 57, Section C of the Collective Bargaining Agreement, which requires the Coca-Cola to pay severance award of 3.5 months' salary for each completed year.
Interesting, the back page of Ghanaian Times. One and over year, Coca-Cola, a more at your crunches and 90 former workers, and a lady, a woman stock Coca-Cola for a cheat the drinking and one more air chum, and therefore labor a commission trim says, can be as I say, or Monsa Ekania, the Article 57C now, a Nina Elwohon now, so I can say, Musican. Coca-Cola form person woman de bemont or more trim at the Omako Labour Commission, no almost woman di amawo.
Say the Ghanaian Times in Semno Akuguni, Kwakwaji about from Krato Yeba, and did the Daily Guide newspaper Moons and Sem and Suburban.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence. Global Sky Limited is making it possible for all to feel safe and secured. Security should never be for the rich alone. Global Sky has over 300 products ranging from CCTV cameras, access control, fire alarm systems, security lighting systems, intercom systems that ensure utmost security for you and your loved ones. For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.
Yes, I am a Kwaba Eba newspaper review segment our morning break Jumedi and so. See the daily graphic and Ghanaian Times and some no akuguni the ebehe and someone edi him or the daily guide newspaper name. And daily guide newspaper and say show stories na say into a front page. NDC dazed rejects Interpol red alert on fugitive Adam Mahama. The request to have international police organization arrest Samuel Adam Mahama, brother of ex-president John Dramani Mahama, in connection with the Airbus SC 4 million euro bribery scandal, is causing unease in the opposition National Democratic Congress. Although it was the instance of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, headed by Martin Amidu, that the alert was being issued, the NDC is insisting that the move was a veiled yet direct attack from former President Mahama by the new Patriotic Party administration. Since the arrest was issued last week, the NDC leaders had been berating the MPP over what they said was an attempt to impugn the integrity of the former president ahead of the 2020 general elections in December.
Yet was the daily guide, Kroakatan, and it was na way NDC Amanyuku, no Mutrembia, Interpol red alert na Mafona, Eka Honsem, Adam Mahama, aha, Airbus Honsem, no, they say my baby to your motrese, Impo, Uko Interpol for Abe Fontaine, Fidius one. In some way, Interpol for Kabonto Metintin, Eddie Guo, my Abe Fontaine, Fidian, so now so Biasa in Yumbia. A woman who is NPP for now, a woman send and a woman yakeke.
Yet also our page for the editorial, NDC MPP maintain the peace. We acknowledge the efforts of the National Peace Council in ensuring that political parties adhere to the content of the anti-vigilantism rulebook as the clock ticks towards election 2020. We are especially excited that the MPC is on the verge of establishing a monitoring team that would keep a tab on the activities of the parties. There are no doubts that the new Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress, being the dormant parties and their supporters, and sometimes tags responsible for the violence that sometimes rock the boat of politics in the country. The ongoing registration exercise should be an important barometer of the health of political activities in the country. While the processes had been generally peaceful, we should still implore the leadership of both the NPP and the NDC to pull the ropes on their bad boys because Ghana has had enough of the troubles of COVID-19 and cannot add on the irresponsibility of party thugs.
Yento asa okata ne fa etoso ennan no editorial semufo no na adwenkyere na ochirem se National Peace Council NPC for womo abom homoden papa se NDC amanyukuo ene NPP amanyukuo ekoba ne se abato a na basabasa ye de mrante ne mebunu no maba nyina de omugimu bi moma e kakra ne yekoye basabasa ne ade no wo mkyerem bi a NPC for ayade papa so ma friend NPP ne NDC amanyukuo nyina na vigilante groups ne ade no wo be de wo mu betwetwem se ne beye na basabasa ye enkoso obra ye to aba.
Yet also our page 4 where landlord chews tenant's finger. The Mathaiko police have opened investigations into a case in which a landlord reportedly bit off his tenant's finger like a carnival at Sirpo in the Katamansi municipality of the Greater Accra region. Kofi Tete, the landlord, bit off the index finger of Raymond Mensah, a 32-year-old barber, and chewed it. It's following a misunderstanding that ensued between them. Information available to Daily Guide indicated that the landlord was enraged over the discarding of wastewater after washing on the compound of the house by the tenant. He, therefore, confronted the tenant, which led to a scuffle, and in the process, the landlord devoured the index finger of his tenant. Confirming the incident, the tenant said, "I do not know how come my finger entered his mouth," while explaining the issue to him. As if it was not enough, he continued that he was shocked when the landlord started chewing the remains. However, the landlord, in responding to the allegations, said, "I have warned him to stop pouring wastewater there, but he continues to do so because he does not respect me." Meanwhile, the Mathaiko police said they had initiated investigations into the matter and the victim had already been issued with a medical report form to attend hospital for examination and treatment.
Tikrata no ensema eba ne fa etoso ennan no. Landlord o bi o hand idea ne satew o kawie no kura amnaso o sankra ewe eno o chese de o hand and say we need me kwan kura fast one and say eko efirura ne mo no so chese esense wanya nam bi no o we nka eno na efirura na echirem say abrante woni na kasa say ompre ho no mo niema ese wo ye no wonye ntini ni hu kwan se wo hwehwe nsu gu oni ade na brante ni so si ni niema na wo hwie nsu na kire se papa kire se ase wo mbu no aha wo no asi ni da ne wa papa han a wo mu ne senti no wo ka ne nsa
Aba nti ompre na o sese fi na nsuo fi a wo de si niema o hwegu ana no ne ye ka ne nsa re wa ka ne nsa na nka pigwe wa san so are
It's in some no say
because of a throat irritation. Did my fourth COVID-19 test yesterday at the first sign of a throat irritation, and unfortunately this time it came back positive, he tweeted, heading for isolation in a health facility and praying for the best.
Yento aso Daily Guide ko akata ne fa etoso enum dia kopiem e wo Nigeria FM a eye onhiema e COVID-19 yare e ba ye no no e wa test na wo test e de gise ne ho andodo no na na impress na anyi no se ase ne minimu te de se ne anyimu ye no ohun niema eni su ye kura ne senti okọ ekọ test na so ne die wa test positive.
Yet also our page 6 of the Daily Guide. Active COVID-19 cases dropping. The number of COVID-19 active cases appears to be dropping amid the easing of restrictions, according to the Ghana Health Service. Although there are still a few spikes in COVID-19, the country's active case count has seen a substantial decrease trend from 7,000 active cases in June to 5,000 plus cases in early July and currently about 3,500 cases. Though this pandemic is caused by a novel coronavirus and full of uncertainties, the current trend is a good sign of reduced infection rates at the time when some activities are allowed. The Ghana Health Service Director of Health Promotion, Dr. Agyeiwaa, said at yesterday's regular press briefings by the Ministry of Information in Accra. According to him, there is hope for Ghana to overcome the virus soon, especially when Ghanaians continue to adhere to the COVID-19 preventive protocols.
Anti COVID-19 won sensem na akrate ne fa etoso ensia no COVID-19 ere eman hunu so na pomudi a aso ho no mo kiremu dia yare na bribia na epim ko na so na die yare no bebre na wo ho atom afrimu eno no 23,044 no manya ayaresa. Active cases no sesi aye 3,871 na kyerɛ sɛ ahụ keka paa ɛni so wɔn a wɔato nananom wɔn nsia do ɛde ɔha ɛne aduana ɛni 145 na abira yare kyerɛ sɛ yɛnya ayaresa ne no ɛna ɔso afɔ hwɛ na ama ne bɔ nsɛm so owura akɔgye ɔpɔn nkrɔma de tu dwa na ɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔn sɛ yakɔbɔ nhyehyɛ ama covid-19 yare no yɛko atia na so yɛnkɔ so a ne yɛndi protocols no so sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ na yɛbɛtumi atu yare na ase koraa.
Yet so our page 7, Nana rejects Domlevo petition. President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo has declined a request for him to reinstate the Auditor General, Daniel Yao Domlevo. In a letter dated June 30, 2020, the president had directed the Attorney General to proceed to his accumulated leave from 2017 to 2019, which totaled 123 days. And when Mr. Domlevo replied, creating the impression that the government was subjecting him to witch hunting, the president added his 2020 leave, making it 167 days. As a result, a coalition of civil society organizations started mounting campaign against the government and asked the president to rescind his decision of asking Mr. Domlevo to proceed on his accumulated leave. According to the coalition, even though the decision is said to be grounded in law, a proper examination of the context of its application in relation to the independence of the Attorney General showed what they claim to be interference in the mandate of the Attorney General.
Yentu aso de yemfa ko akrata ne fa etoso ensono no entu aso ansam na ewo honom de ewura Domlevo ekoba ne se mampani Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo se wapo adwuma saa wonye wahome kwa na ebe ya kwa na akwaje wahome no na Daniel Yao Domlevo de ne petition ekodan mampani Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo na so ne de ne petition mampani anso.
Yet so our page 8 of the Daily Guide newspaper. I have never been broke, Reggie Rackstone. Reggie Rackstone says he has never been broke in his life as he responded to claims that he is a poor musician. Speaking in an interview with Happy FM Dr. Khan on the Showbiz Extra show, he said he went into music because it was his passion and not because of the financial benefits. I have never been broke in my life. I mean broke in the sense that I am spiritually rich. If you know my history, you know I wasn't born into no poverty. You should know who my father is. I didn't venture into the music industry to make money. I saw music as a gift and my father supported me on this path. My dad built a studio for me when I began. I don't have the same hustle that you've got. So when you speak, don't touch on my financial issues. Just enjoy my music.
Krata ni fa etoso wotwe no erejuroxo no de nsema tudwa na okyere se wonu ohia ohia de na ohia se enya de akyere se ono yaka se broker wa broker prada ne ho enkyere nsa no no kyerem se enyom no enye se wo bonyum na kyere se wo de enyi ska bebre na emom no ya ade an kyere se nani eje ho na mpo ne papa empo ene si ni studio ede ma na wode ehye ne nwomase aba bedu san pepesu enti akoba ne se obeka ne ho nsem enu no ya ehia na emom no se wonye ska so wonye ska o eno ne de wode ya ne se ne nwom no wonso enjoy bi na wo enjoy bi sa ede ekogwanim.
Yet so our page 9 1D1F firms get $2,068,268 US tax waiver. Member of Parliament has backed the government's request for waiver of taxes mounting up to the equivalent of $2,668,268 US on machinery, equipment, and raw materials to be procured by 3 companies under the One District, One Factory program. The taxes are import duty, import NHIL, import gets fund levy, import VAT, and exim levy, and have been waived for Akum Energy Ghana Limited, Vesta Oil Mills Limited, and Ad Premium Diaper Coal Company Limited.
Krata ni fa etoso enkona nje se yede krata no nsem ewie de amam de Mrs Gift ohne kunodu wono ene banta One District One Factory na oye coordinator woye mrahye bedwe no di tudwa se aban enhyehyɛ se ba ne se eto tax a edida One District One Factory dwumadi nso ne dia wo mu enyi emfi akwamaba nse mahinsa yidi edi dwuma ne ade na eno no wofoa aban so pa ese ebeboa ama wo dwumadie atumi akosoto entempa na menkenkan messages na aba ni bidia George the farmer was saying a big good morning to the MHTV team. Sanso Enna William Wedi was say I'm watching you live. There's a message is now abano kakre.
Aha, any the newspaper review segment or morning break jumedie no ebeba na wiye. Near ka was I following with various social media platform, Facebook and Instagram, MHTV, YouTube network as on Marveling House Limited. With my visit your website www.marvelinghouse.com. Mjumeku so yasne a Global Sky Security. Global Sky say someone is always watching. And a Leonard Holmes. Abba.
Yeah, dear. Enye di jumedi ebis mokoswa enhwe MHTV aka katene so ye de bebem tanso enye mejo news bulletin no enye ye de mina ebeto so awia aha midday news so ye de ebeso mo sa pepe yakram.
Are you worried about your security? Are you able to access and protect your property and the people you care about? With an increased height in robbery and kidnapping, you should not compromise on your security. Global Sky Limited, your total security solution, is here to help you secure your office and residence. Global Sky Limited is making it possible for all to feel safe and secured. Security should never be for the rich alone. Global Sky has over 300 products ranging from CCTV cameras, access control, fire alarm systems, security lighting systems, intercom systems that ensure utmost security for you and your loved ones. For more information, call 0302 522 503 or 0264 363 125. You can also visit www.globalskyafrica.com. Global Sky, someone is always watching.